Testing the audio levels. Hi everyone, Jerrel here. Howdy, howdy everyone. Let's all just enjoy a coffee. Jeez, I've got cables everywhere. Wow, okay. Let me see if I can move some things around. Hey everyone, good to see ya. Good to see ya. Falcon Fencer, Neo Merge, Berry, Crispy, Awakening, good to see everyone. Alright, so I'm working on a puzzle game. I could have this finished, I mean, if I work non-stop, I should be able to have this done tonight. But there's like a couple gimmicks I want to implement, you know, because there's a few different worlds, and then every world is set to have 15 stages. So I want to make sure there's enough fun gimmicks in there, you know, like just fun little mechanical things. I haven't checked the Kickstarter in a couple days, so I'm not exactly sure how it's going. It's been a significant amount of work, and I'm falling behind because I was supposed to get 2 of my smaller games finished and prepared for launch earlier this month. The Kickstarter is not on track to succeed. And look, that's fine, you know, because we've built a whole bunch of positive energy towards Breath of Thunder, and that's way more valuable than funding. Funding is temporary, funding disappears, but positive energy and getting just anyone to look at whatever you're creating, that's significantly more valuable. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I appreciate hearing from everybody. Also, I got to do the funny bit with Mighty Number 9. That was very fun. You really like Breath of Thunder. So what's going to happen if we don't get funding for Breath of Thunder? I'm preparing a demo, a significant playable demo for Breath of Thunder, and a new trailer. So hopefully that helps, and I'm going to give a massive push until the end of the project. But I still haven't done, I need to make something for April Fool's, and I haven't done that yet, so I've got to finish this game, then I got to do the April Fool's thing, because I cannot afford to mess that up. So I'll finish this, do the April Fool's, then I'll get the new demo and trailer for Breath of Thunder ready. But if we don't get Breath of Thunder funded, it's probably going to take about 1.5 years to produce, because I have to make that simultaneously with my other projects. Yeah, it's going to take significantly longer to get Breath of Thunder made. Yeah, so let me just show you how this works. This is called Clasherball here. Oh man, I still haven't earned like enough revenue recently to get a new capture card, and there's so much input delay on this. Oh man. There's so much input delay on my capture card. Okay, so how this works, I still need to make a little mascot guy, and I need to make sure my brain doesn't automatically go for like a Puzzle Bobble looking little cute dinosaur, because I'm a huge Puzzle Bobble fan, and you need to put an effort to make sure you don't accidentally copy the stuff that you really like. So with this, you just have one button, and you got to try to connect a 4 or more. I haven't put it in yet, but I would like to put a combo system so that if you like pop balls, there's a little combo meter that'll appear so you can get more points. I haven't added that yet because that's supplementary. It's not a big deal, but you'll see what happens when you match up the balls. They can hit you and you can lose health. The icons for your life are temporary right now. They're just placeholder thing. You can do curve shots. You can do trick shots by like curving your shot. Okay, so right now I accidentally increased the friction on the balls, so they're losing a significant amount of velocity. Oh, whoa! Did you guys see me matrix that? Alright, okay. If you hit that, you can see it hit me just then, and I lost some health. So, let me just have a look at my materials here, because I do believe that I've got a little bit too much friction. And the chat window's covering my thing. You did the port for Puzzle Bobble for Sidekick Blade device. No way! That's awesome! How cool! That's awesome! Nice one! I'm gonna use... If I can find the Puzzle Bobble... If I can figure out what, like, Super Nintendo sounds they used for Puzzle Bobble, I'll use Super Nintendo sound fonts to make the soundtrack for this. I'm just going for a chill vibe. I tend to go full on with my soundtracks, you know, like, oh, let's try and get as much sound in there as possible. But with this one, this game's supposed to be very chill, so I'm going to go for a very laid-back, reserved soundtrack, which will be different for me. And it's very important when you're, if you, you know, have a hobby or a job where you create things, it's really important to try different things and to push yourself to do things you don't normally do. Otherwise, you will stagnate. So that's why I try to always do something different with my work. Okay, let's see if we can get that in there. Ow. Ow. I got hit twice. So I'm going to increase the duration for which I am invincible when I get hit. Right now it's 2 seconds, but I think it's not enough. I might increase that to 3 seconds. I'll show you the logic for that. It's very simple. Okay. Ow, I walked right into that, didn't I? Okay, I'll show you how I set up the levels and everything. Let me just go ahead and do a little bit of programming here. And this chat window is actually in the worst possible place for me. So you're going to see me moving this around a lot for the stream. Okay, let's go ahead and open this. All right, what do we got here? Okay. I hope you tuned in on April 1st. Okay, everyone, let's not forget Barry's got something on April 1st. But guys, I've got something on April 1st as well, but my April 1st is different from everyone else's. My April 1st is one day ahead. Hey, Elenon, Durridge, Deandridge, good to see you. Excel at chill game experiences. Hey, man. Some people just chill. They have it. They have it to be chill. Okay, so my dogs are barking at something. Probably one of those extra large cockatoos trying to get into my house. So I have start invincibility, so basic here. Invincibility is equal to true, and then end invincibility is 3 seconds, and then invincibility, you know. And so we have on trigger enter, and if it checks if the other ball is a Clasherball and it's able to damage the player, and it'll only perform the damaging logic if the player is not invincible. Basic logic, very simple, easy to implement. So if I want to adjust it, I can. 3 seconds is good, I think. Okay, we'll get that out of the way. Move that off to the side there. Okay. So, I'll show you. What do we got here? We got a core. Okay, so I'm really seeing that chat window is in the worst spot. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and move that now. Okay, that's a lot better. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and change the level here. So there's all kinds of different gimmicks that I can do. There's going to be a few different themes as well. So I'm pretty excited for this Clasherball. I love these kind of games. Not necessarily like match the colors, you know, but I love puzzle games. I played a ton. I played so much on the PlayStation. You have no idea. Like, man, I loved puzzle games on the PlayStation, usually because they were so experimental. Do you guys have a favorite puzzle game? Hey, Galibra, good to see you. In the chat, who in the chat does anyone have a favorite puzzle game? Mine's gonna be Puzzle Bobble. It was the vibe, it was the music, but I really like the PlayStation era of puzzle games because they were so experimental and weird. Things like Irritating Stick. I think that it was ahead of its time in terms of its branding. Like, that's a name that you generally would not have seen in that era. That seems more like a modern vibe for naming a game. For back then, that name was kind of suicide in terms of branding. But these days, see, Okay, I'm gonna curve my shot, right? Because if you're up close and you hit that, it's gonna come right back at you, like the Kirby show. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and curve it here. So if you move while you're shooting it, oh yeah, I got it. Okay, nice. So you can do trick shots. If you move while you shoot, you can go off at an angle, and you can avoid getting hit by the recoil. So here we go. There is a glitch that I need to fix right now. The game is only supposed to spawn colors in your launcher. You're only supposed to get colors that are on the field, but it can spawn colors that don't exist on the field, as it was happening to me last night, and I'm not exactly sure. Oh, that was close. I'm not sure why. Okay, victory. I did real good. So I also need to program the logic where I go to the next stage as well. Right now it just sits here because I haven't put the logic in yet. I'm testing all the stages. What's more important right now is that I create the stages. Okay. Your favorite puzzle game is definitely Peggle. That rings a bell, but it's not bringing anything to mind. I'm going to have to look up Peggle. What is Peggle? Peggle. What is that? Peggle. Ah, yep, I gotcha. Nice one. Nice one. What else we got? The Witness. What's The Witness? That sounds like a horror sort of thing. The Witness. The Witness, I do declare. I can spell, I assure you. Oh, I've heard of this. Oh, this looks so cool. I have heard of that, yeah. You give me Scott Hawthorne vibes. I don't know who Scott Hawthorne is. Bing Oahu. I know you'll break through one day, but I still really like being here right now in this moment. That's great. I really appreciate being here with you guys. You know, all we really have is the moment that we have right now. You know, we don't have yesterday anymore. That's gone. And we don't necessarily have tomorrow because you could die. You could die at any second. I could die at any second. You know, all these planes are digital these days, so they're falling apart in the sky. As you know, you're not supposed to restart a plane while you're in flight, but when things go all digital, you're constantly having to restart. So a plane part could fall out of the sky and crush me, and I could be dead. Or it could fall on you, and it can crush you, and you could be dead. So it's important to, you know, enjoy the moment. And I really appreciate just hanging out here with you guys. Who is Scott Hawthorne? What does it do? Does he do Scott? No, that's someone else. Scott Hawthorne. What does he do? Oh, of course! He's the guy that works in the Melbourne property market since 2012. You've been busy remaking Mr. Do. Oh, yeah! That's, again, a classic. Great. That's a great game. Which is a sort of puzzle action game. As for straight puzzle game, definitely Puzzle Bobble. Yeah. It's crispy. I do think Karushi Final is kind of nearly as amazing at Tetris. Karushi Final. What is that? You know what I really like is the PSP puzzle games as well. I want to make PSP puzzle games. I want to make PSP games. You know, I will make PSP games. I'll figure something out and I'll make something for PSP as well. But also I thought, look, I'm a huge fan of puzzle games. It's kind of weird that I haven't even done one yet. So I was kind of thinking that if I want to make games for other platforms, I might do puzzle games as well. I'll think of some fun concept, and then I can make like Saturn, Jaguar, Dreamcast, N64 games. And I think I'll do puzzle games because I forgot how much I love puzzle games. Karushi Final. I remember this. I think I had this. I borrowed it from a sister's friend, and he had it. He had a pirated copy. Oh, Scott made FNAF. Awesome. I heard that people actually really like the movie, which is so great. I'm really glad to hear that. I'm not personally into FNAF. It's not my kind of game. I played a little bit of the first one for like 15 minutes with a friend when it first came out, and that was pretty fun. But it didn't really. I don't really know much about it. I played a little bit. Clax was good too. I want to make a Lynx game. I have a software development kit for Lynx. Not a kit, but an environment. Clax. I haven't seen that. That looks fun. Did you ever try Mercury on PSP? There's a good chance that I did, and I don't remember because I play a ton of PSP games. Mercury PSP. This doesn't look familiar to me. No. This looks like something I would like. I would like that. Yeah, definitely. I like puzzle games where there's a direct threat to the player. Like this one, for example. If you get hit by your balls, then you die. So what I should have done, and I didn't do, because I was rushing through this, because I really need to get this game done quickly, what I should have done was created the balls in a specific unit of measurement so I could snap them to a grid so it's easy to build the levels with snapping, and I did not do that. I picked an arbitrary ball size, which was dumb. But this isn't supposed to be like a 30-hour, RPG. This is a puzzle game. And I currently don't have plans to turn this into like a big series because I don't know if people are going to like it or not. I just want people to have fun with it, but also I need to make it quickly because like everyone else, you need to get a paycheck. You have to get a paycheck. So I'm not saying this is my Jaws 3, right? Is that the one with Michael Caine? I'm not saying this is my Jaws 3. I'm saying that I needed to make this game very fast. And I made a couple decisions that if I was planning to make this a series, I would have made those decisions more carefully and made different decisions. Like right now I just have to arbitrarily place the balls in places. What I should have done was made them a unit of measurement where I could hold control, and if I hold control, they'll match perfectly to a spot to make them easier to place. But right now, they don't do that. It was very silly of me to not do that. Like, see, if I hold control and match them up, they're a little bit too big, so they don't snap properly. So, that's sometimes you just gotta make decisions, and sometimes you make the wrong ones, and you're just gonna have to live with it, So I just have to manually slap these fellas in here. Actually, that's not the one that I wanted to start with. Oops. Oh no, I can get to bed. So I have a couple different worlds that I'll be doing, and right now I've planned 15 in each world, and I want to keep ramping up the gimmicks in each one. I can't see. I'm in my own way. I'm my own worst enemy. So I have a couple gimmicks, right? Right now, I have the beach ball, and I want to now add a dinghy. An inner tube, if you will. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just... yep, okay. So let me go ahead and just move that off screen for a moment until I get... I gotta find an inner tube here. Hold on for a second. Inner tube... Tubes. Tubes. No. Okay, let me find my beach balls. I just gotta find an inner tube that I can use. 2 seconds. Beach umbrella chair. Let's see. Yeah, let's go orange. Okay. So we're gonna check. We gotta check that on there, and we gotta give them. It's not exactly the right color, is it? That's not. It's not. No, it's not that one. Let's see. Is it? Do I use umbrellas? Is it umbrellas? No, it's not that. I'm not getting the right one. That's the sand. No, where is it? Look, this is gonna be I'll have to find the colors later on, I think. I don't know where that material is right now. Okay, you know, I'm gonna stick that on there for now. That's fine for now. Oh, nailed it. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn this into, let's give it some physics, some physics logic. Very easy. Let's give it rigid body. I'm my own worst enemy right now. Okay. You have to decide whether it's like one of those. Is it like one of those kids ones that's for the pool inflatable, or is it one of the heavy ones that's meant for saving lives? You have to make those decisions. Those are the tough decisions you make. Hey, Ramesses, good to see you. Let's see here. So here's the thing. FNAF has mass appeal. I think Scott really knew what he was doing in terms of creating something with mass appeal, and that it just worked out. You know, it's great for streaming. That's when people were into playing games on stream. Was really picking up at that point. And it hit at the right time. He made the exact right game for that. And it's loud and bombastic and exciting. And yeah, it just was the right game at the right time. And it's really cool that the movie turned out great. You know, it's always a bummer. Even if you're not a fan of like a particular thing, it's always a bummer to hear about when they make a movie and people really hate it. You know, it really sucks. Okay, so I'm gonna just add a mesh collider here. Let's go ahead and make that convex. And I actually want this to be bigger, right? So this is going to, and then we have the bumper logic, okay? I want this guy sliding around, so we're gonna actually, I think I'll freeze the wide position. We want it really light, and I want it floating around, right? I want this fellow really floating around. So let's go ahead and give him 0 friction on that. This is going to be sliding around. And then I have bumper logic here. So I have contact point. This is a bit of logic that I've just put in here. So if it contacts a rigid body, I'm so my own worst enemy right now. Okay, let's give that 140. It'll jump around here. Okay. Hold on, I need to hide that for now, and if we run it, we'll just need it. We need to test and make sure it works properly. All right, it is sliding around, which is good, and it does bounce the balls around. And there we go. So, ow, 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 ow. Because there's so many different stages, it will get boring if you don't have fun gimmicks involved. So these are the kind of gimmicks that I'm talking about when I say I want stages to have fun gimmicks. And of course there'll be balls that have cool, you know, different special effects to them, and sometimes they're themed. So the game starts with a beach-themed world, and yeah, I'm trying to have beach stuff. I have one where there's a surfboard that goes around. I want one where there's a shark that goes around as well. You know, so just fun. You know, just fun. It gives a cool vibe to it. Is this Hungry Hippos? No, but I am a big Hungry Hippos fan. I played a lot of that. I'm sure at a teenager, at some point, I think we went over to a friend's house, and I think we were specifically looking for board games, and maybe we didn't have enough time for Monopoly, and maybe we did play Hungry Hippos. I know a friend of mine did have Mousetrap, and we tried to play Mousetrap once, but there was a part that was broken, and we couldn't play it properly. Has anyone in the chat ever played a full game of Mousetrap? I just want to ask that. I've never played a full game of Mousetrap. My friends and I assembled it, and we just wanted to see the traps and the gimmicks working. I want to know if anyone in the chat has ever played an actual game of Mousetrap. Because I don't think I've ever met anyone that played a full game of Mousetrap. You've never played Mousetrap at all. See, I like half played it. What systems will this be on? This will be on Switch, Steam, Atari VCS, and I'm doing a version for the PS Vita. For my PS Vita fans out there, because I know that people love that. It is physics-based. I could do a version on the PSP. If people really thought that would be fun, I could do a version for the PSP. If the core game launches, if it sells well, if people like it, then I could go back and do versions for like Dreamcast and Saturn and Jaguar and 64, because I love those old consoles. I won't really be able to bring Breath of Thunder to those old consoles at this point because that would be very expensive and time consuming. So I can bring smaller games like this to those old consoles. Do you have a name for this game, Balls of Fury? This is Clasherball. You always thought FNAF sucked, but you gotta give respect his dedication to the grind and the medium. I don't get it. I think I just don't connect with it. I don't really understand it. But I can see why people really like it. Okay, great. So what I'm gonna do now. Okay, and I need to make sure. See, when balls connect, they check for a chain, and then they activate. But if I have is stage starter selected, then they'll try to link up first thing and then they won't activate. So that stops them from activating at the start of the game. Will this game be around $20? No, this game will probably be around $7 or $8, something like that. How do you do PS Vita? I'm assuming you cannot convert Unity to that, so you must port/recode the logic in something. Sounds time consuming. I'm using a version of Unity specifically for the Vita. But that means that I have to start all of my games in an older version of Unity, because if you create a game in a newer version of Unity, you won't be able to go back to the PS Vita version, which is pretty old. So I start, if I know that I want to put the game on the Vita, I have to start with a very old version of Unity. What engines do you use to get into game development? Have a million ideas, but I just struggle with it all, even if I'm a video editor and this and that. Hey, DJ129, good to see you. That's a good question. I actually would not start with Unity. I wouldn't start with Default. I think both of those are kind of hard to start out with. I would actually start out with something like Game Maker. There's a significant difference between I would say like a commercial game engine, like a production-ready commercial game engine, like Unity, where it doesn't help you that much. It does a lot on the back end, but in terms of getting your game concept out, it doesn't help you that much. So it is a non-assisted tool. Unity is a full game engine, it's a non-assisted tool, whereas Game Maker is an assisted tool. Game Maker does a significant amount to help you get your concept functional without having to do too much manual work. So if you are just starting out with game development, I would strongly recommend using something like Game Maker first, because it is heavily assisted, and that means that there's less resistance in terms of you learning what it takes to make a game work. And what is most important if you're getting into game development, you just need to learn how to make your concept work. You need to develop your own process and your workflow and develop your understanding of taking your idea and then pushing these buttons on a screen and making your idea functional and work. And Unity it's tough. It's an uphill battle. And Unreal is a little more, well, it's a lot more assisted, but Unreal is really specifically designed to make specific games. Like if you're trying to make a first-person shooter, absolutely use Unreal, because it is, in many respects, Unreal is a semi-assisted tool, in that if you're making a first-person shooter or something to that style, and even third-person shooters, it's quite heavily assisted. Unreal will really help you. But if you're just making a general game and you're learning, definitely use something like Game Maker, because that's heavily assisted. So I'm going to throw a curveball at the player here, and I'm going to change up the colors. There's quite a few different colors you can use for your balls. I better get caught up with the chat here. Let's see. I'll perform services for you that are illegal in most Middle Eastern countries if you make a game for Jaguar. I don't even care what game, any Sungrand game on the Jaguar. Yeah, I've set up the development kit. It's just a bummer that I didn't understand what people's reactions to my Kickstarter would potentially be. And man, you'll learn by going through life and doing. You'll learn by doing, you know. So there's no way I could have known that people would react so negatively to my Kickstarter. I genuinely thought people would see the stretch goals And they would think, oh, what a fun bonus, you know. It's unlikely to get there, but what a cool, fun bonus. That's how I thought people would react. And that is the opposite. That's the total opposite. Instead, people thought I was either a scammer or an idiot. And it's probably because we had just gotten things like Madam Web, which many people kind of describe as a scam. And then we got the Willy Wonka experience in Glasgow, which many people describe as a scam as well. So, and you know what? I don't blame people because we're constantly getting scammed. I don't even answer my telephone anymore. I said telephone like an old person. I don't even answer my phone anymore because it's always scams, you know. So I don't blame people. That's just how it is, you know. Okay, so we got black in there. You know what? Let's go. It doesn't matter if it's black or white. See what I should have done again was made my balls a very specific size so that I could snap to the grid. I didn't do that. So I'm just arbitrarily making my balls whatever size. And that's the life I'm gonna live. That's just how it is. Oops, I need to return to the top here. Are there fish in the water, or a turtle or a frog? This is beach water, so I could have fish swimming around, and then, you know, they would sort of bump into the player a little bit. I do want to have a shark, so I'll show you one of the stages has a surfboard going around. I want a stage where there's a shark going around. What would be fun is if I did like a that. Yeah, like a diagonal thing. There. See, I need to make sure they're slightly touching so that they connect when the stage starts. So I do need to make sure they're slightly touching. Okay, what is this guy? Oops, and I need to make sure all of these are stage starters, otherwise they will activate immediately. Which would be funny. That'd be funny to have a stage start out and it just goes, all of the balls activate, and it's basically the stage trying to kill the player from the word go. So yeah, I could make this game for the PSP, but again, it isn't necessarily like a good idea to use my time in that way at the moment. I'm hoping that my studio will get to a point this year where I can spend more time just making games that are just plain, you know, fun. I want to make more homebrew games. I want to make games for older consoles. I was kind of hoping Breath of Thunder would give me that opportunity. For the most recent scams are things like Intellivision. See, here's the thing, right? I can't, you know, criticize people for being like negative and saying, you know, negative things about my Kickstarter, because I really enjoy watching YouTube videos that talk about those things. I don't enjoy it from like, yeah, I hate those things. I just think it's fun. I like the way that people cover the content. It's enjoyable. It's fun. Let me get some of the balls in here. What would be a fun one? Let's get pink in there. I gotta get, I think I can do one more color here. I think I'm gonna add one more color just for variety's sake. Yeah. Oh, I thought I duped that. So yeah, this is what it takes to make a stage. So now what I'm going to do is make sure I change this file name. I don't want to hit apply because I'll overwrite my previous thing. That would suck. I'd be a little bummed out. I'm going to get caught up with the chat. Sorry, I was actually just sitting here doing work. I'll pay better attention to the chat. Here we go. So let's go ahead and put that in there. Okay, so if I go to my core now... Oh, I forgot to put my dinghy in there. Hold on. I'm going to put 2. I'll put 2 in there. Alright, so I want to make a prefab of this first so I can reuse it. I want a bumper life preserver. No, that's not what a life preserver is. This is a dinghy is a very specific thing, isn't it? Life saver, like the candy. Like the candy. Duh. Hello, Megan. It's such a deep cut. No one's gonna know that deep cut. Okay, so I'll put my... and I gotta get rid of the beach ball, because I'm not using that one. That was for different... But of course, you know, I can reuse the gimmicks. They're reusable. There's something about shapes and geometry in puzzle games that's so pleasing to the eye. That's what I really like about Puzzle Bobble, is you just look at some of the puzzles and you think it's satisfying to look at. So that's what I'm going for here. The colors are more muted in this one because I just wanted to make sure the puzzles look different. Like if you keep giving the player the same visual texture, it gets quite boring. And so I want to change up the colors as well, you know. Let's go ahead and hit apply. And now let's test it. So let's go to our core, and I'll say that I want World 0 Stage 9. I'll go ahead and save that. Balls are glorious. Okay, so my first one is white. And again, you can curve your shot by moving while shooting. I've curved it. Ah, I got hit. I can see that this stage is too easy, so I need to do something now. Because you see how I did one shot and it basically cleared the whole stage. So this one was too easy, so I'm going to have to add some more stuff to it. So make sure the stuff that just happened, that made all of that auto-activate, I need to make sure that doesn't just happen that way. So let's see what I can do. Okay, oh, you know what? You know what would make that more challenging? More of these. There we go. If I just have more of these gimmicks in the way, that would add a fun thing. Because we have stages where there's tons of balls already, right? So because of these, you'll have to rely on your trick shots. Or, if you play pool, they call it masse or English. I've spent time as a pool shark in bar hopping through the greasiest dive bars you've ever seen. I've been a pool shark in a... Young Justice, Vinny to the K. Vinny, rock on. You get 30 points to Vinny. You've got the PS5 dev kit. Oh, nice. Time Punk, please make sure you send me like a message. Send me a message in Discord or whatever. I want to see your games. Make sure you comment that. So my balls didn't connect. So I think they're probably a little too far from each other. So I need to make my balls closer to each other. And something happened where they activated immediately. So I just need to make sure that all of the logic is in there. Yeah, they're all stage starters. What's the deal? Why did that happen? Oh, you know what I think? Because those balls were too far from each other. See, this doesn't normally happen to me, you know. But because I'm chatting, you know, some of my focus goes to the chat. So, okay, I just need to make sure those do connect, and that should stop that from happening now. What was happening was they didn't connect in the very beginning because they were too far. If I hit apply, let's just hide that now. Young Justice, hands down, the absolute greatest Western animation, Western-made animation I've seen. Storytelling, the art itself, the animation, fantastic. It's brilliant work. I have so much respect for Young Justice. Okay, so I got my white balls out of the way. I think it's probably fine to have an easier stage like this, because the stages before this were actually pretty challenging. So having something like this, I think, is pretty fun. I'm going to add a little bit more to it. I think I will add one more color to it because right now it's a little too easy. So let's get some blue balls in there, and that will make it more difficult. If I block those. If I block the black balls, it'll make it more challenging. So let's get some blue balls in there. There we go. Something to try and mess up your curve shot, right? So now you have to hit the blue ball first. But, you know, geometrically, I want it to feel nice, you know? Something like that. And let's go ahead and lock them in place as well. Let's go ahead and lock it in place. Something like that. So now you have to get the life preserver out of the way, and you have to pop the blue balls first. Okay, so those will connect. Cool. And of course, we want to make sure, stage starter. Great. Okay, so I think that's good. And this is generally, if my attention isn't split with the chat, normally my first go with designing a stage, everything works the way I expect. But it takes a little effort when your attention is split. Okay, cool. All right, I don't think I need a trick shot for that. Oh, I did need a trick shot. Okay. All right, there we go. This is a fun little stage with the little life preservers going around and everything. All right, great. That's out of the way. I can get black ones. Yeah, cool. All right. Dang, that white one. Okay. Got it. Let's see. Please move. All right. Okay. And, okay, this will get rid of the white ones. Oh, what I need to program now, I'm going to do that now, actually. It's going to check if the color doesn't exist, because sometimes after the colors pop, you could have one in reserve. So I'm going to program that now. Ouch. Okay. Did I get them all? Okay. See, this is the problem that I'm talking about. I've gotten rid of all the pink ones, but I have one in reserve. So let's go ahead and program that now. That shouldn't be too difficult. All right, so, and I can catch up with the chat. We can chat, and we can put the logic in there. Okay. Hold on, I gotta catch up with the chat. I gotta scroll up a little. Hey, Asterisk, how's it going? Tidepunk, I like this game idea, man. How did you get the ball fire to sit on that curve? This is so... Okay, sometimes I'll try to... It depends on, like, what you really need your project to do. Sometimes you need to implement a solution that is complex and complicated, and sometimes you just need an extremely simple solution. This is the most basic solution I could think of. This is the child of a transform, and that transform is centered to the board. It's so simple. I didn't use math for this. Normally you would use math for this kind of thing, but this is the transform. You can see the transform is here. All I'm doing is rotating the transform, so I'm not using math. So that means that it's always facing the center. So this is the most basic. This is the most basic solution, but it's the one that it does the exact thing I need it to. So it's really simple. It's kind of one of those solutions where it's like I'm a little embarrassed by how simple it is, but also it's exactly what I need. So when I press left and right on the controller, all I'm doing is rotating the control gizmo. I just rotate that by the analog stick, and this is the ball dropper. The ball dropper is this guy. So it's so basic, you know. But sometimes you just need the simplest thing possible, and that's all it is. The audio player objects should be destroyed after the sound has played. Oh, Lee Comstock. They're not being created. That's a pool. Oh yeah, it's funny. You can see that. So it's an audio pool. So it's just going through the pool and playing them. So the audio stuff is not created or destroyed. So it recycles, it reuses the audio. It's really good you noticed that you saw them sitting there. I know there's a ton there, you know. You could do a lot with the PSP. God, I love the Vita too. Sony need another actual handheld. If they make one, there's a good chance that I'll buy it. Hey, Pseudonym. Pseudonym, good to see it. If Sony made a handheld, I'm a sucker for handheld consoles, guys. They're just awesome. The PS Vita menu music is god tier. Look, the PSP music is great. The Vita music is great. Wii music is great. We are mostly talking about balls. We are. How they bounce, their size. Actually, I should have just gone into the physics and clamped the Y position, but I have it to where if the balls exceed a certain Y position, they are, it just sets their Y position to a specific spot. So, Pat No Steve, hey, good to see you. Oh, thanks. Yeah, this is a couple years ago. I got rid of I did the house cleaning. I got rid of a bunch of old clothes. When I was a teenager, all I wore was black T-shirt, blue jeans, and I felt like I got bored of that. It was really dull. So I don't think I would ever just wear like a T-shirt these days. I can't even remember the last time I wore just a T-shirt. Yeah, I got rid of all my old clothes. The concept, to make the ball fire move in a circle, you can just put an apparent object that is positioned in the center and rotate it. Yeah, you got it. You got it. Agreed, man. Now I want to rewatch it. I'm sure I have the episode saved somewhere. That's brilliant. The other day I was just thinking about like the arc where Superboy, I think he lost his powers and he had to use the patches from Lex Luthor. I was like, and he was getting addicted to them or something. Like, man, that's cool. That's such a cool storytelling, such cool story arc. I see you're making Puzzle Bobble meets Tempest. That's a good way to describe it. That's a really good way to describe it. Got plenty of blue balls already. You should animate the water too. I would like to do that. I haven't done that yet. I'm focusing on getting the core. I'm getting all of the levels done, all the core mechanics, and then I'm gonna do the sort of the visual flair, the water and all that. This is actually, I'm gonna admit something that's a little embarrassing to you guys. I didn't have a water shader in this project, so I took the sand and I recolored it blue. So this is the water. This is the sand that I colored blue. It's so embarrassing, you guys. Don't tell anyone. I'm gonna put a water shader in there. I will. I'll do it. Good to see you, Freddy. At first glance, it looks like the fishing minigame on Mario's Party 64. If I could make this for the N64, if I had time to do it, I think I would. And again, if this game sells well, because I'm putting it on modern platforms, if it sells well and it buys me some time, then I will bring it to older consoles because I think it would be pretty fun, and I can do like new, unique levels for each console, How's the balls going? Sometimes they stay in place, and sometimes they go crazy and they kill you because they bounce too much and you die. All right, I forgot what I was doing. All right. Let me just open this up. What was I doing? Was I happy with this stage? I think I was. I think we started talking about all the stuff and oh, I remember. I'm going to program it so that if I have a color that no longer exists. Okay, player, no, that's not what I want. So I want to go to my table logic. The table logic is, all the logic is in this table script. The table does all the heavy lifting. Okay, so public void perform non-existent color check. Okay. I did grow up in the American education system, so I don't put a U in there. Which is how it is, man. You can take the Lucky Charms out of the kid, but you can't take the kid out of the Lucky Charms. That's an old saying that my great-grandpa used to say. The balls minigame. Just make the shader scroll, Rashad Z. You know what I was going to do, Rashad? I was going to be so cheap, and I was going to just animate the material so that the material scrolled, and then the scale went in and out. I was going to do that. And I could still do that, because this game isn't supposed to be photorealistic. It's supposed to be just, fun and lighthearted and colorful. So, when you say that, I could do that. By the way, do you own a Vita dev kit? No, I own a normal Vita because Sony had a program where you could develop on a standard Vita. Yeah. Obsidian Contraption. Hey, good to see you. Cull. My phones, if I use a phone or a tablet because I live in Australia, they'll automatically add a U, and I don't fight. You know, I'm not going to argue. That's what it wants, man. Okay, so I'm going to just reuse some logic here, and that's refresh next balls here. So here we go. Okay. So I'm going to reuse some logic. Okay. So, okay, I'm going to have to not chat for a second because now I have to turn my brain back on. Okay. Because I do need to think a little bit. Hold on, I just need to get a chiller vibe. Okay. Just give me a second here. Because when I'm in the chat, my brain doesn't really work that well. Hold on, I gotta reset my cycle count so it doesn't get stuck in a loop. That's just like a safety thing, you know? Get rid of that. So what I'm doing is I'm checking to see for the ball that is going to be launched next. I'm checking to see if it exists. So please just give me a moment here. Okay, so if the color doesn't exist, okay, then it adds 1. And if you get to 6, because there are 6 colors, it will reset to 0. This logic should work. This should be fine. So now I want to now perform this every time a ball pops. So I want to perform the non-existent color check. Okay, so you want to destroy the self, and I don't mean that in like a Nietzschean way, like a Nietzschean, you know, like a sort of like an existential, you know, sort of a philosophical way. I'm going to do that, and then I want to make sure that I refresh the material as well. It's actually really fun. It's so cool that you guys are in the chat, and then you know what's going on, so you guys can comment on like the game development process. That is so absurdly cool. Like I cannot even explain how cool that is, that people can comment, because you guys are developers too as well. It is so absurdly cool that we can just talk about this stuff, because when I was a kid, that didn't happen. You couldn't even imagine that sort of thing happening. So it is just absurdly cool that we all can hang out together like this. I mean, it's easy to take that for granted. Even if I wasn't like making a game, the fact that we can just hang out online like that is so absurdly cool. Okay, and that refreshes the color. So now this logic should work fine. The ball destroys itself. It removes it from the count. And I need to make sure... Oh, you know what? No, it shouldn't happen then. Because it removes itself from the color logic here. So as soon as they activate, so they can pop. And what I also need to do is add a particle effect to the... I need to add a particle effect to the gizmo to let the player know that their ball was changed, because you can't just like swap someone's balls and not tell them. That would be very bad game design. This is where it's, you know, this is where it's important to have consideration for the player experience. is the game can now change your balls, can swap your balls without you knowing. So now I'm gonna get an effect in there and just call it ball swap. I'm just gonna go into my asset database and just grab something for now. I think I've got something like an aura or something. I'll just go into my database and I'll do something better later. No, that's not what I want. I'll do something. It has to be so noticeable, you know. You know what? That's kind of noticeable. What do we want? 90. You know what? That's fine. Okay, let's put this on our ball dropper. And we want to make sure there's no other weird logic that destroys it. Let's go ahead and remove that. Okay, so this is going to be our ball swap effect. Ball swap effect. And this way, when the game does swap your balls, you'll know. I'll have a sound effect as well. I will put a sound effect in there. But let's go ahead and just... I'm in my own way. I am in my own way. Where? Hello? I put it in the wrong spot. That's the wrong thing there. I put it in the wrong script. Okay. This is much messier than I normally make a game. Normally my code is highly structured up here. Normally it's really neat, but I have to make this game really fast. And this game doesn't necessarily have to be hugely scalable. So that's why it's a little haphazard. Let's see, ball swap effect, cool. And I just need to make sure that it's not set to play when it wakes up. Okay, so I just need to get caught up with the chat now. Play when wake, cool. Also, this version of Unity is infuriating because if it crashes, it resets all of the work that you've done on your stage and your prefabs. It resets it. So I don't even know why I still have this version installed. I was using it on an old project. I need to get rid of this version. It was a specific... There's a certain run during like 2017 where that was a feature that Unity thought would be good. And it is... I have cuss words. I have so many cuss words for that feature that is complete... Ooh, I'm not even going to say anything. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Reckon this guy's king of double entendres so much he doesn't even acknowledge them and made an entire game about balls just to take the piss. I don't know, man. You need to be you don't need to be a developer here. No, everyone's welcome here. We're just here to hang out. We're all just... I say it time and time again, and I'm going to have a new catchphrase. I just want to feel like I'm hanging out with you guys at Denny's at 2 a.m. I want to feel like we're drinking coffee and we're all getting food poisoning and we're just spitballing cool, fun ideas for games we could make. And that's the vibe I want to have. That's the life I want to live. That's how I want to hang out with you guys. I want us to feel like we're getting food poisoning at Denny's at 2 a.m. drinking coffee. Not from the coffee, because Denny's has that special meat bowl where Denny's has a whole bunch of meat left over from last week, and so they stick it all in a bowl, and it's only $5. And it's like, dude, $5 for a meat bowl? Of course I'm gonna buy that. There's bacon, there's sausage, there's what's hard bacon, you know, and then there's hard sausage, and there's chicken. You didn't even know Denny's did chicken, but there's chicken in there, and that's why you get food poisoning from it. Hey, Zachary, yes, good to see you. I love the visuals. They're so bright and colorful. I'll show you something here. I want to have like seagulls flying around and whatnot, but I have stage elements. So this, I'll show you a stage element here. So the stage element is designed so that I can plug in different graphics. I'll select this guy. Let's see, where's this guy? And I'll just go to the animator here with Control-6. And I'll show you that the mesh, I'll show you what the mesh is doing here. Yeah. you can see that it uses a squash and stretch animation. So I can plug in different trees and they'll have the same squash and stretch. And I've got this one here as well. I'll do a few other animations. And then this one is for other levels. Other levels, other worlds will have different graphics. And they'll have different animations as well. Like, say, for example, this animation doesn't use the same kind of squash and stretch. This one has more of a bounce type thing going on. And that helps things feel a little more alive. I have the camera doing a very basic sort of a wobble, a very slow wobble, and it just adds a bit of dynamic to the world. I do need to adjust it because when the ball launcher is back there, it's a little hard to see the color, so I do need to adjust that. So I just need to go back to my logic and make sure I play the ball swap effect now. So ball swap effect. So what I actually need to do, and here's the thing, like, my code looks a certain way, and that's because there's flaws in Unity that I've learned are real issues. Non-existent color detected. Okay. So here we go. So at the start of this, I want non-existent color detected. Let's just reset that. And if this is in here, and this is going to check. So if at any point, let's see here. I just need to make sure I don't mess up the logic here. Yeah, I think it's already detected that the color doesn't exist. So I want non-existent color detected equals true. And then we get to the end of the loop, and if non-existent color detected, then I'll have later on I'll add an audio reference. And the reason why I don't do this bool that, or like referencing, I want to do like a vector 3, is because that causes in Unity, especially depending on the platform, some it's significantly worse. That causes memory leakage, memory fragmentation, and slowdown in Unity. On PC, it's probably not going to matter. But if you're working on platforms like the Vita and the 3DS, that's going to leak memory so fast, and on like the 3DS, you're going to crash out in a couple minutes. So all of my logic now, it doesn't look like how anyone else would program. I look like a crazy person, and that's only because I've spent so much time working on the 3DS realizing, this thing that you're supposed to be able to do just fine on Unity is actually really broken, and it causes massive memory issues. So now because I don't declare anything. Everything's like a just defined variable at the top. A defined attribute or value, whatever you call it in C Sharp. So yeah, okay. Anyway, either this is going to work or it's not. But I'm going to now move on to making the next stage. Hunky chunk of hard meat. Used to make Amiga games too. Oh man, that's so cool. So cool. You guys look up something called 8-Bit Unity. I've been contributing to the guy's Patreon. He's in France. All the cool stuff comes from France. All these French people are making cool stuff. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But he's making something called 8-Bit Unity, and it's not not related to Unity in any way, but it is a development environment for a number of 8-bit platforms, including the Lynx. So I'm going to use that to make a Lynx game at some point in the future. I can see why Sega supports your title, but Sega does not. Nintendo, I can't believe how supportive Nintendo has been, and they've really been like, whatever you want to put in your game, okay, man, that's cool, man. Nintendo won't promote Tenement too violent, and they don't like genocide dolphins because they actually kill dolphins. Got into Tokyo Game Show final when I renamed it. That's so cool. Sega I can't help but Atari. I was referring to Dolphin Emulator. Porting games to devices with plus 385 megs of usable RAM made me hate Unity. Unity is so bad with RAM. It is an absolute nightmare. I totally get where you're coming from, Patnos. And that's why, like, my coding style in Unity looks like a nightmare, and it's only because Unity's really bad with memory management. And that's the trade-off, is that Unity is it's a utilitarian engine that will basically let you make any kind of game, but there's a price you have to pay for that. And bad memory management is just part of it. It's always been that way. I don't understand memes, but I think this is where you have a picture of the two spacemen, and the one has the gun. This game will be launched on the VCS? Yeah, I'm gonna bring this to VCS. Timepunk, oh, you use 8-bit Unity? Awesome. I haven't had a chance to use it yet because I don't have a project I'm working on for those platforms, but I will be using it in the future. I want to make heaps of games using 8-bit Unity. You were a J2ME coder for 13 years. Think how bad that was. Yeah, I'm using J2ME. I'm making games for old phones, for these things. I'm still using J2ME. I'm bringing Silver Falls Unlimited to these things. I need to do something about that. Just give it rubbing alcohol. I'll be making games for the Nokia Goatse. Is that what this console is called? The Nokia Goatse, right? Anyway, I will be making games in the future for the Nokia Goatse. You did that for a living? Ah, that's awesome. That's so cool. I was still using like Game Maker and making just like fun free games at that point. Make games for the Ouya. Well, I would have to get an Ouya at some point. You made an N-Gage game? Oh, that's awesome. I really like this one, and I think it's because I don't have to take the battery out to swap game cards, probably. Yeah, and the SD card is just in there, right? Am I right in saying that? Yeah. Yeah. You were lead coder on Ice Age Skater J2. That's so cool. Awesome. Zachary Essay, there was a famous RPG Maker game from Belgium called Off. I haven't played it, but I have heard great things. While looking for it, I saw a French game that was using RPG Maker that looks phenomenal. I'm kind of thinking we're going to see a resurgence of of games using older versions of RPG Maker. I really want to keep pushing RPG Maker 2003 because it's such a capable little game engine and you can use Easy RPG. And Easy RPG lets you play your RPG Maker games on other platforms. You know, you can play it on the 3DS, the Vita, the Wii, and I think anything that can get RetroArch on will work fine. So I don't know if I have like I need to get a shark somewhere. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I have a skateboard, so I'm gonna do that now. So I'll make the next stage. Which one has a skateboard? This one has a skateboard. What I'm going to do so here's what I'll do. I have something called rotation gimmick, and I can put anything inside of the rotation gimmick with the contents. Here we go. Hold on, I think that surfboard's in the wrong... Oh, you know what? That surfboard needs to come up some, doesn't it? Right? Because that should be centered. Let me just run that animation real quick. Yeah, I need to go back and... Oh, you know what? I can apply that now, actually. Okay. Yep. Apply. We had 2,700 ports. Off is kind of amazing. I thought it was French, though. Will you be doing a port for the old water pump basketball handhelds? Ooh. I can't figure out how to program for those. I can't remember the last time I played one of those water pump things. They're weird. They sort of like suck your brain in, you know. Um, yeah, the N-Gage one you had to remove the battery. You got your sight working with your Anbernic. Oh, cool, 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 cool. NHRA Drag Race, terrible game. You have RPG Maker 3 on PS2, but what I would have to play. It's tough on those consoles because you didn't have internet access to sort of get other people's games. And even the modern ones, you know, they eventually will turn off the servers. So, okay, what I'm going to do is I just want to write... I'll just create a quick script so that I can play the animation in reverse. So that's going to be pretty basic here. Where's my Sungrand folder? I'll just make this a universal script. If I think of a script that I think I'll need that I can reuse somewhere else, then I'll just create it in sort of a universal way so I can just reuse it. So, and I know that I've got this somewhere. Set animator speed. Sure. This is basically simple, so I don't have to make a new animation. What I'm going to do is just allow myself to change the animation speed, or I could play it in reverse. Public animator. Target animator. I'll get rid of the update there. And of course, to prevent any issues, if target animator is not equal to null, just do that, you know. Target animate. Public float target speed. Okay, target animator dot speed is equal to target speed. Great. That's pretty simple. That's basic stuff. Now I can just copy and paste that script into, if I have another project, and I can save myself 20 seconds if I just copy and paste that into another project. It'll probably take longer to open this project. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll duplicate this rotation gimmick, and what I will do now is on the rotation gimmick I'm going to just grab that set the animator speed, and I'm going to make it negative 0.5, and let's just do a quick test to make sure that my logic worked properly. So if this is, let's see, I think that's good. I think 9, let's just make that like an even 9.3. So now we'll go negative on that. And now on this one, contents, we'll just bring that closer in, and we'll just make sure our balls are real close together. Okay, so let's go ahead and run it. Okay. The guy's from Belgium, but he speaks French. Okay, so my animator logic isn't doing what I want it to do. And I think it's because I didn't reference the animator. So what I will do is add a little bit of logic now. Okay. It's a little bit of fallback logic. Target animator is equal to get component. Cool. There's like such a minor performance overhead for that, so I would just assign it to begin with. But anyway, it'll work. It should work now. If I hit play, we should. Okay. Now it is not working. Actually, what I think I need to do, I think I need to set the actual animation that's currently playing. I think that's what I need to do. Anyway, I'll look into it later. It'll be a piece of cake, but I'll look into it later. Okay. So it mostly works. All right. So what I'm going to do is get my balls out of here. I'll just clear my balls out. Start fresh. Grandpa always said start with fresh balls. And Grandpa always knew what he was talking about. So I'm going to start with fresh balls. we were on black last time, right? So let's get a couple black ones in there. All right, what do we got? 2.5, 2. Let's go 2.2. And -2. Actually, no. 1.7. Okay. Hold on. Oh, okay. Now I will get caught up with the chat. One hidden gem of an RPG Maker game is called Endroll. It has one of the most depressing games, but it has a great story and cast. Endroll. All of these balls had an odd side effect of getting the Blue Spheres theme from Sonic 3 stuck in my head. I have like I think I'm like pretty physically fit because I generally do a significant amount of physical training. I usually do a fair amount of weightlifting. I do hiking. I spend a lot of time outdoors. But I feel like I have heart problems when I see the blue spheres. Like anything related to blue spheres, I start having heart problems. And I have like anxiety. And I don't have anxiety, right? I think in general, I make an effort to be pretty chill. But if I hear Blue Spheres music, if I see that brown and tan checkerboard, if I see anything related to Blue Spheres, I have significant anxiety, and I think I need to see like a therapist, because Blue Spheres makes me really nervous, man. Does anyone else have that problem? You know what I should be doing? I need to clamp down on the top. So the idea of this stage, every stage you should sort of have like a sort of a loose objective as you're planning it. You're coming up with it. Hold on, just go negative on that. In general, you should have a loose plan of what you want the experience to be. And in this one, I want the surfboards to ruin your day. The game is, you either have high accuracy or high reflexes that you're responding to whatever's happening on the stage. And in general, having things get in the way is going to ruin your day. So I think having the surfboards there is going to be a great way to just ruin someone's day. Let's get some pink in there now. I'm going to add another color as well. I think this isn't enough colors at this point. Here's what I'm kind of thinking. .2. And if there are two of them, then they're locked in place, you see. Okay, we'll do those, make sure they are stage starters. And then having the single ones kind of screws you over because they are mavericks, they bounce around. I actually think if this was unbelievably beautiful combined with this gameplay, it would be a big seller. Like them really amazing screensaver things. You know what I've been kind of really enjoying right now is watching YouTube videos where people talk about Frutiger Aero stuff. Like the early 2000s aesthetic of combining nature with technology and trying to make technology look less intimidating by having all this sort of implied nature. I think it's quite beautiful, hearing about that era of, whoa, what have I done here? What value did I use for that? 296, I'll just type that in. Digimon World did that beautifully. I'm a big Digimon fan. Oh man, if I had a Digimon virtual pet, I would have it. I'd be playing it here on my desk. You know, I'd be keeping that fella alive. I've seen I saw the latest. They recently launched a new one, I think. Okay, and then let's just get something. Let's see. Let's get some yellow in there to make. Oh no, because the boards are yellow, right? So I sort of want to leave that color on the table. Let's get some red in there now. And actually, we give people a break from red because red's the first color that they see in this game. So I'll give them a break. Let's get some blue in there. So again, no, we had blue blocking the black balls last time. So let's not do that again. Let's have the blue here this time. So now you have to use, this makes it so you have to use a trick shot in order to get the green there. There we go. Let's get some white balls in there. I'm gonna add another color here because I feel like long term having only this many colors is probably gonna get sort of boring to look at. So this is a stage that's going to sort of... I'm just eyeballing it. This isn't mathematically accurate. Honestly, these should be the same value. You know, if it was going to be a real diagonal. Okay, yeah, you know what? I dig it. I dig it. I'm eating nachos right now. You got me, man. That's my #1 food item for just wanting to chill. We don't get nacho cheese in Australia, so, you know, it's a little bummer. A little bit of a bummer. I'm a big nachos fan, though. I'll fill up. I'll eat a whole meal that's just nachos. I don't care. Digimon, the franchise no one but me asked for, which refuses to go quietly. I want to see them make Digimon stuff forever. You know, admittedly, I don't play a lot of much when it comes to the Digimon stuff, but I grew up with it. I was obsessed with Digimon. That was one of my favorite things. I couldn't get enough of Digimon. Watched the show. I had the virtual pets. I had some of the cards. I never played one. Oh, you know what I think I need to do with the speed? I think I just need to make another animator. I need to clone the animator and just play it backwards. I'll do that now. Simple solutions. Better to focus on the simple solutions. Reverse. Make that 1.3 so it moves a little faster. I need to see what's going on here. I don't know why I didn't just... This is such a simple solution, you know? Negative. Okay, if we run this, it'll work fine. It'll work fine. I know it'll work fine. I played a little bit last year of one of the Digimon Cyber Sleuth games on the Vita. Oh man, it was cool. It was so cool. Okay. So the inner surfboard is a little too close. I'm going ahead and fix. I'll fix that now. Oh no, that's for the other stage, but it is still a little close. So let me go ahead and fix that rotation gimmick. You can't say. Just out because it'll bump my white balls, and that'll be fine. That's okay. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, so we'll save that, we'll delete it, we'll go to the core, and I just want to say, level 10, please. My balls, it bumped my blue balls. Okay. My blue balls. I'll have to fix that. Okay. Should I bring my blue balls? Should I tighten up my blue balls? Or should I move the surfboard? I think I'll just tighten my blue balls. Yeah. Yeah. I think I'll do that. Because I like... Oh, but like now it doesn't look as nice. No, I'm gonna move the surfboard because I want it to look nice. Okay. Bring that guy out more. Let's see. I want to go for some... What's this one? Oh, that's pretty chill. I'm trying to go for the... just trying to put some chill music on, you know? You know what I mean? I still have a V-Pet these days. It's a 20th century version, just like the originals, but with more Digimon. NV, hey, good to see ya. Yeah, I saw the ones where they're in full color and whatnot. And that's so cool. That's so cool. I was thinking of doing another Pokemon minigame pretty soon, and it was actually going to be a virtual pet, but it was going to be sad adult virtual pet, and it would be like, oh, you know, you asked your friend out for drinks, and they're like, I've had a long shift today, I don't want to go out, you know. And then you try to get like work-life balance, but then you never can. And that's the whole virtual pet. It's just a very sad grown-up. Yeah. I could probably get in there. No! Okay, you gotta wait for the surfboards. I think I'm gonna have the surfboards move a little faster. They're gonna hit. Yeah. Okay. That was close. Yeah, I'm gonna have the surfboards move a little faster. It's a little too slow right now. So I want other gimmicks as well, where there's a hazard, like a fire-breathing dragon, you know, and it can hit you. I want stuff on the stage that can actually damage you and hurt you, other than the balls. So I think that'll be fun. Ooh, that was close. I almost hit the surfboard instead. Okay, so we're going to test the logic now. We're going to see if the wrong color comes out. If I get a blue one next, then my logic didn't work. Oops, I messed up. I curved the shot when I wasn't supposed to. Actually, these surfboards are going to help. Come on. You can bump your balls as well. You can give them a little nudge like that. So if need be, you know, give your balls a little nudge, and that can help you solve the puzzle. Okay, so I'm gonna launch this, and I'm just gonna keep launching it to make sure only black balls come out. A blue one came out. It shouldn't be that way. I don't know. Oh, you know why a blue one came out? Because all of the black balls already activated, and the game thought that there was none left. So that's why that one came out. Okay. Cool. Cyber Sleuth. Hey, Matthew Williams. Good to see you. I probably got to play 3 hours of Cyber Sleuth. It was so cool. If I had more time, I would really play more of that. And I was so embarrassed I admitted to people, because I played a bit of Cyber Sleuth. I took like a 6-month break, and then I played a couple hours of it again, and I forgot how to catch Digimon. I was looking for an item like a Pokeball, and I forgot how to catch Digimon. I was so embarrassed, and I was asking people like, are there like Digiballs or something? How do you catch the Digimon? I was so embarrassed. Matt Williams was a contributor to Mega Zeux back in the mid to late 90s. Hey, that's awesome! How cool is that? Matthew Williams, how long did this game take? Like, how many hours so far? In terms of programming, I mean, I'm not. This isn't like a gargantuan project. This probably has like. There's probably only 16 hours of programming here, but there's more in the back end that needs to go on. But it's not just programming; it's sort of, I had these trees in my asset database, but everything else I had to make in terms of all that stuff. But it's not like it's hugely difficult or demanding. It's just you have to spend the time making it. That's not lined up correctly. That's bothering me. I'm gonna fix that. That is bothering me immensely. What is up with that? My axle isn't right. My axle. My wheels. That's not right. Right? That's not lined up at all. Oop. That is bothering me immensely. Oop. Where's my other axle? I'm just going to eyeball it. You should be able to do this mathematically, accurately. But I'm a maverick, you guys. I'm going to eyeball it, because that's what my dad would do. I used to help my dad build tons of stuff. We used to do a lot of house renovating. And sometimes he would just say, eyeball it. Just eyeball it. So you know what? I don't really care if it's perfectly accurate. I'm going to eyeball it. Okay, but my tank is crooked, though. I'm just going to go ahead and fix it in my tank. That's not right. Hold on. Why is my tank like that? I'm going to eyeball it. You know what? That's how Papa would have done it. I've eyeballed it. I kind of like, sometimes I'll purposefully do things in a less accurate way like that, just because it's like, man, it's not about being perfect. And sometimes, you gotta have that sort of that 1960s hippie attitude, which of course extends to the 90s, because the 90s is basically just the new 60s. You gotta go with the wind, man. You gotta let your hair down. You gotta go where the wind takes you. Hitchhike to Vegas, man, or wherever you're going. Okay, so we'll probably get to the next level here. Add a quicks to a stage. It'll be funny. What is a quicks? Kicks? QIX. What is that? What is that? I've never played that. Is this what you're talking about? Is this it? There's a bit of confusion. This Matthew Williams isn't the Mega Zeus contributor guy. Different Matthew Williams. Look, at the end of the day, we're all normal Matts. I'm a normal Matt, you're a normal Matt, and there's nothing wrong with being a normal Matt. We're all normal Matts. Is this the right quicks? Kicks. I'll have to look up. I'll look that up, see if I can try it later. What are my black balls doing out here? I didn't pay attention to what I was doing. Ow. And then there are a couple, I like to do stages where it's just complete chaos. You know what would be really funny? Is a stage with like a trap that the player couldn't possibly know because you introduce a new gimmick. So let me go ahead. Like I want like let's see. Okay, so I need to start introducing hazards that can hurt the player. So I'll do that now. And I have a saw somewhere. Where's the last time I used my buzz saw? I'm pretty sure. I don't know where it is. I might have to grab it again. I have a buzz saw somewhere. So what I'll do next is I need to find the one with my lifesavers. And I'll create a... I don't even need to do that. I don't even know why I started with that, because I can create a new... This one will be 11. I want to try Yerba Mate. What is that? Is that like a probiotic? Like a dietary supplement? Yerba Mate? For an active lifestyle, I choose Yerba Mate. Is that what it is? Did I get that? Did I get it right? Brief ad. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually take my bumper Yerba Mate. Yerba Mate. Mate? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is use the same movement logic for that. What I'm going to do now is let's see. I know I've got a buzzsaw that I can use somewhere. What other project did I use it in? Oh, you know what? I'm pretty sure I used it in I know where I can copy it from. It's in Sweet Abominations, which I'm still working on, by the way. I am getting Sweet Abominations. The namesake kicks is basically a sentient sound wave that can change directions. It makes a very ominous as it moves. Oh, cool. Very cool. Okay, so I'm just going to open up one of my other projects where I have a buzzsaw. So I'm going to go ahead and put the logic in there now. And what I'm actually going to do is, let me see here. There's a couple cheap ways to do this. It would be smart if I just did this. I'm going to consider the cheapest way possible. You're going to see me be so cheap here. What you really should have is like a hitbox layer, right? So that way you restrict your interactions, so that the player only looks for like what I would normally do is create a script, and I would have all the information for a hitbox in there, but I'm going to do this in the cheapest way possible. This is as cheap as I can get. You're going to see me be so cheap, but you know what? Sometimes life is all about easy, simple solutions. This is so cheap. Oh my god, this is so cheap. I'm just going to check the layer of the hitbox. That's so dumb. This is dumb. I don't know why I'm doing it like this. Alright, I got Sweet Abominations open. I just need it. Here's my other game, Sweet Abominations. Let me just grab the buzzsaw from here. There it is. I'm just going to use that. Probably do like a more cartoony texture for it. I'll do it later. Oh, you know what? I can use the other pieces of the traps in here as well. I'll go ahead and just use that. Okay. Copy. Let's go ahead and paste it in here. Guys, this is so cheap. So, if this was like a more advanced, if it had an advanced combat system, right? I would make a script called Hitbox, and then I would put all the logic in there, like your stun time, your knockback, your damage, your elements. This game doesn't need that, so I'm actually just going to check. I'm going to check for a collision, and then I'm going to check the layer number, and that's it. And that's a simple solution, you know. You could make a script with the hitbox data. You could have damage amount. No, not vum. Okay. Okay, so it's importing stuff from my asset database. This is so cheap. Alright, while that's loading in, I'll just go ahead and put some logic in there. On trigger enter. Okay, this is so cheap. Guys, I'm being so cheap right now. Yeah. Yep, that's it. I'm just gonna do this. And I just need to check the layer. That's, wow. That is such a small amount of logic. That is a minuscule amount of logic. Okay. I don't want it to feel like I'm like, hey guys, let's go out to dinner, and then I took you to a Denny's instead, and you feel like you're cheated, like you've been like ripped off. But I mean, that's kind of what's happening. Right. Okay, so we have hitbox. I think that's it. I think that's all the logic I need. Let's go ahead and get that saw in there. Okay. Grab the saw. Hold on. I was kind of thinking if I wanted to not lock the Y position, then I could also have ramps. Here's what I also want to do that I'll probably start programming that now, is I want a section that can be locked off, like a gate, like a locked gate, and then you have to collect keys, and then you have to hit the keys. So maybe I'll do that now. I think that would be fun. I'll do that now, because I've already shown you guys, you know, making the stage and whatnot, and all that. Okay, so I'm being so lazy, guys. This is like the laziest way to do this. Let's go ahead and remove that. We'll remove that because we don't need that anymore. Okay, saw. Okay. Oh, I guess not. Oh, I guess not. Okay. Like that. It's got to be real visible. You know what I am saying? Do you know what I am saying? Is it this one? Can I use that? It's got like banding on it. I don't really like that. I'll make a new texture for it. I don't know why it looks like that, but who even? You know? Who even these days, am I right? So I'm gonna call this a hazard. This is a hazard buzz saw. Circular saw. Circular saw. And I don't want it to bounce my balls. So what I'm going to do is remove that logic so it cannot bounce my balls any longer. Need to make sure that's a trigger of the hitbox. And this is a convex. And actually, I want to make sure that it doesn't fall too close to the terrain. So I'm going to make it chunky as well. That sort of matches the art style a little bit more. Okay, let's go ahead and just put that in there as a prefab. And we are neat. What have I done? What did I just do? I just did something, and I wasn't paying attention because I was trying to read the chat. Okay, so I'm going to prepare a new stage. So what I'll do for the next stage, I'll create a stage that uses this hazard, and then after that I'll program the logic for a key, you know? You work too much to be lazy. This was lazy, but this should work. It should work. If that touches me, it should damage me. Come on, work. It worked, and I barely had to do anything. Guys, I barely did anything. Yeah, it's working, it's working. Oop, I have to lock the rotation. Ow! That's cool, that's cool. Yeah, life is so hard, man. Life's hard. So you can see, you guys saw I barely did anything, and the hit logic worked. That's so lazy. I can't believe how lazy I was just then. We're gonna freeze the rotation. Right? What's the... Okay, don't lock the Z rotation. Which it's like that. Okay. Alright. That's so lazy. Let's just make sure it works alright. Listen, it ain't cheap if it works, and it's productive if it saves you time. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Okay, it worked. Yep, it's working. Cool. I want to reduce the weight because I want this bad boy to fly around real good, like. He's too heavy right now. How light can I make this fella like that? I want this thing to go buck wild. Lazy devs find the most efficient solutions. It's gone. And it's gone. And it's gone. Hold on, I gotta put this on, I gotta put it on continuous. There we go. Okay. Alright, it's moving around. It's good, it's good. Oh, and you know what? Okay, so there's logic. There's logic right now where if it touches this, the sides or the center, it will bump, right? It's going to cause it, it's going to... I'll show you my logic there. On, where's my stage? I'll show you my logic. This logic takes... this only looks for a rigid body, you know, push force. So, again, I implemented such a cheap... This is such a tacky way to do this. This is so tacky. I'm actually embarrassed to show this to you, is ignore contact point. So that's just the tag. So it checks for the tag, and if the object has the tag, then that contact point will not apply a force to it. It's so tacky. Yeah, actually, I am a little embarrassed, but you'll see that it works. So you see how he can now touch the edges and he won't bounce? So I'm a little bit embarrassed by that, but this is cool. I really like that because it can now run around the edge of the stage and whatnot. That's fun. That's fun. Okay, let's make a stage for it. Where did the Guardians music come from? I make all my own music. Hey, Kenny, good to see you. So for the Guardians and Metal Exterminators music, the soundtrack is trying to style match the 80s. So I listened to a ton of 80s music. I was listening, obviously, to like, I was listening to a ton of Rainbow, Deep Purple, Queen, King Crimson, yeah, and just a heap of other 80s stuff. And it wasn't necessarily that I was copying that music, but I was style matching the music of the time. Anything, you know, sort of... And I was really trying to steer towards that 80s power ballad, because all of the music for Guardians is meant to be, except one track, I think, is meant to be written by a musician called Lady Looter. And so I sort of needed that female pop star kind of a vibe in the music. So I'm so happy with how the soundtrack turned out. Okay, so this is 11. I think we're done with that. Alright, so this is the one I'm making now. And as Grandpapa always said, always start with fresh balls. And Grandpa knew what he was talking about. How is the buzzsaw floating, though? It's, you know, it's one of those. It's one of those, I mean, how do ships float? You know, ships are metal, you know, they float. This can be one of those... We can put a lifesaver on it. We can put a one of those lifesavers on him. How does King Crimson work? And I think there's going to be people out there that think that I'm making a JoJo's reference. Because I think King Crimson is a JoJo's thing as well? I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so let's start with some yellows. Let's get some nice yellows in there. I'm kind of thinking like, it's too close. start out, because if you have two, they're going to be locked in place. They won't be able to bounce around. So that helps you build, like hazards and whatnot. I'll lock that to overhead. Hey, Tamale Muncher 789. How's it going? Good to see you. I haven't had a good tamale in ages. Australia doesn't have a whole lot of Mexican food, so I try to eat as much Mexican food as I can when I'm back in California. What kind of games do you like, Tamale Muncher? What are your favorite kind of games? This is a puzzle game. It's going to be my first commercial puzzle game, which it's wild to think about because it's one of my favorite kinds of games. What I like best about puzzle games is when they just have like a fun, weird concept. What I should have done is just inverted the Z. King Crimson is a stand, semi-sentient manifestation of spirit energy tied to a user. In JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, it's controversial because it has time erasure powers. Well, that's a very sort of professional, scientific way to describe a stand. Whereas I personally, I'm not super great, at talking real good. I would have called a stand a magical punching ghost. Does Australia have a lot of cheese foods? We're pretty big on dairy. Yeah, we're big on like a good cheese platter. You get a couple different kinds of meats, 4 or 5 different kinds of cheeses. We have a lot of cheese foods. Okay, you know what? Let me make a new color because I'm not super. I'm sure I had one queued up. What was next on my list? Orange. Okay. Orange can be the new color. Let's slap them down on in there and see. Magical Punching Ghost also describes a JoJo stand accurately, yes. I'm a huge JoJo's fan. I tragically admire JoJo and One Piece. I just think they're so great, they're so creative, they're just so fun. I love the artwork, I love the storytelling. Fantastic. We don't want to cross into red territory now, do we? Oranjiru. Oranjiru. Yeah, that's a different color. You can tell that's a different color. Oranjiru. It's definitely different from red. Let me get my red balls in there, and I'll just make sure that it's different enough. Oops. You want to put your balls next to each other to make sure that they are identifiable in terms of color. So they're getting a little close. That's a little close to red now. So what I will do is I'll just adjust my color and I'll make it so it's more identifiably orange. So we want to make sure that you can still tell your balls apart. See, now it's looking too similar to yellow, so we just want to make some more adjustments. So you want to make sure that is identifiable between the red and the yellow. Honestly, this is a little more tough than I thought it would be. Guys, I don't think I'm going to use orange because it's very difficult to define that color and make it identifiable very easily. And this is a game where you really need to identify the colors quickly. So I will go ahead and go with purple instead. Yeah, that's more identifiable. Am I making myself colorblind? The more I look at this, the more I look at it, the more similar they look. I'm making myself colorblind by doing this. Is it me? That's purple. You can tell that's purple. I feel like I'm making myself colorblind. Okay, and this is the color that we get when it activates. So let's go ahead and make this purple. I don't know how to say purple in Japanese. I can't pronounce Bakaruda. That's a deep cut for you. I think you're all too young and you don't know what that is. That's for old people. Baba ra ra kukudada. I can't pronounce Bakaruda. Mario Herodor. Hi, good to see you. Oh, I've got a pop-up. Ugh. Pop-ups. No, thank you. Say that even though I'm not a big fan of turn-based RPGs, I appreciate your work and the love you put into your games. We need more developers like you in the industry. Oh, that's really nice. Thank you, Mario. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I'm working on other games as well. I love all kinds of games, so it's not just one kind of game that I'll be making. This one's a puzzle game, and I'm very, very excited to be making a puzzle game. It's not... Is that like purple enough? What we're going to do is change that on. We're going to change that as well. So let's go ahead and do that now. So I failed to make orange identifiable enough because I think I'm making myself colorblind. I'm sort of psyching myself out now. And you also have to keep in mind that there are people who won't be able to identify certain colors. You know, they'll just visually have a tough time with that. So I want to consider putting, you know, some slightly different patterns on some of the balls as well. Okay, we're going to scroll on down. Papuru. Okay. Muraski. Orange eater. Purple. It's got purple in there, Steve. Also, if you're worried about colors being too samey, just add some kind of physical characteristics. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You are absolutely right. The problem is that my balls are too small. I kind of thought they would be bigger, but their presence on screen isn't significant enough. Like, if you compare these, the balls, like, say for example, like to Puzzle Bobble, the Puzzle Bobble balls have a bigger presence on screen, so they can actually fit more detail. Whereas for me, I've sort of painted myself into a corner a little bit. Wait, do you guys not think King Crimson is real? Then why am I shrieking and shaking since his name was mentioned? I haven't caught up to the latest JoJo. I've only seen up to the first couple episodes of Golden Wind, so please don't spoil anything for me. He's also the villain in Stephen King's universe. Huh. Okay, yeah, this is fine. This is good. Alright. Okay, let's get rid of these things. We're good? Okay, let's get some purple in there. Where's my stage? 11? Okay, cool. Alright, so you want to mix it up. Let's get some... Okay. Reset positions. That way when I drop it in there, it's always going to be at the center point. Rest in peace, Jerrel Balls. Some games do that for colorblind people. Yeah, like Puzzle Bobble has really good distinction because they're animated on the inside. They have, you know, like different patterns, so the balls look different. Spoiler for JoJo's. There are JoJo's. Oh no, why'd you tell me? Don't tell me that. I like to play Sea of Stars and watch Black Clover. Black Clover's really popular right now, right? Or is that still running or is it finished? Oh boy, you're in for a ride if you haven't seen part 5. You won't say anything. I did see like the first couple episodes where Giorno has to like infiltrate a gang and he did the thing with a lighter. I saw that, which was very cool. You know what we need is like I like the death trap setups where it's like someone's, like I had one where it was all pink, and then the first thing that the player touches causes all the pink to explode and it can just cause tons of damage. So I want to do a couple stages like that, but I do want to program the logic for a key. So you have to collect a sphere that has a key in it. Oops. Let's go ahead and undo that and duplicate it. And let's go back to our chill music, man. Where's the chill music? So this is our first time seeing purple. So let's feature it just a little more prominently. Let's get some pink in there as well. I think it'll be neat to see the purple next to the pink, just for my sanity to make sure that they look different enough. I'm going to make the pink brighter now. The pink is too similar to the purple at this point, so that's why I'm doing it. It's for my sanity check here. Okay, that's identifiable, sure. And I'm looking at it through this tiny square, right? People are going to be playing this game full screen. You know, I'm looking at it a tiny square. I will give them different color patterns as well, like, you know, stripes or something. We'll give it something. Okay, and I'll just, oops. Pair my balls up so it locks them in place. I have a hard time picking my favorite JoJo's part. Between part 3 and part 4, like, it's tough. It's so tough picking my favorite JoJo part. Honestly, it wouldn't be a bad idea to refer to them as Bobas or Pearls. That's making me hungry. Wait, if the game doesn't have the name Pearl Pool's fantastic. This is a good marketing team. We got some good marketers in here. This game's called Clasherball. Right off the bat, we're gonna put 2 of these fun boys in here like that. What? Nani? Two fun boys in here like that. Let's go ahead and I'll line it up with the yellow. How about that? I'm eyeballing it. You know, you should be doing these things more accurately. I'm eyeballing it. Okay, let's go ahead and get them into our stage. And of course we want to make sure that all of our balls know that they are starter balls. Okay, now let's get a little bit more dynamic in terms of the color. So, I think some green would look nice. Let's get some green in there. And these will be free floaters. I'm approaching this geometrically, what I think would look nice geometrically. I'm kind of looking at the pattern because it's like this kind of thing. There's a visual aspect to it where it just looks nice. You know, it kind of makes your eyeballs feel nice, and so that's something that I consider. And let's get some be a nice way to cap this off? I'm looking at the colors. Let's get some blue balls in there. Let's get 2 blue balls in there. Okay, great. Like I said, I'm playing so fast and loose with the placement of these things. And at the end of the day, it doesn't super matter, you know? Okay, and make sure I'm not overwriting. Yeah, 11. Okay. Again, I don't want to overwrite a prefab. That would be very annoying. Okay, let's run it. Let's see what this is like. Let's get to our core. And then I'll program the logic for key spheres and locks. We'll have to open Maya as well, so let's go ahead and start that now since it takes a while for Maya to open. I might have to grab a coffee. Wouldn't this be pool? Well, see, the water is only for this one theme, for the beach theme, because once you get to the next world, it's a different theme, you know, and different graphics. So it's not necessarily, you know, like, not everything is water-based. Rashad, see, each level is its own game object. Yes. So what I'm doing is I'm checking the stage, the current stage that's in the game manager. So, you know, this is persistent, so I can go to the title screen and select a stage. Then the logic here checks for the current stage, and then it creates the prefab based on that. So some of my balls were too close together, and they've gone a little crazy. So I'm going to have to address that somehow. Let me just see what happened. Let me watch. Right? Or did I launch something? Did I launch something and not pay attention? I must have launched something and not paid attention. Okay. You got in my way. Okay, that logic still works. Good. Oh yeah, this stage is going to be kind of challenging. Yeah. Because the ones leading up to this one were a little easier, right? You know, so this one's the one where it's kind of taking itself seriously again. I got hit. Okay, good to have a challenging stage again. Okay. Come on, green guy, go over there. Oh man, those buzzsaws really are really ruining my day. You should be able to like hit them, you know, and move them with your balls. Please get away. This is okay. I like the buzzsaw thing. I like that imminent danger. That's pretty fun. That feels like something that they would do on like in an original PlayStation game. So here's the thing. I have this green thing, and my logic says that that shouldn't be allowed to happen because there are no more green ones on the field. I'm going to recheck my logic later because it's going to be boring. Okay, cool. So let me go ahead and create some logic now so I can have an object that can serve as a gate, and it will be okay, here we go. Your next line will be... My next line will be a line of code that lets me just create a locked gate with key logic. That's different. Where am I? I lost my train of thought. Where did I blanked. Clasherball. Okay, here we go. We are going to have... Okay, let's just say like a Clasherball, locked gate, and then Clasherball gate key. Okay, so what I'm going to do is the gate has references to gate keys, and it's just going to constantly check if the gate keys don't exist, and if they don't exist, it's going to destroy itself, and maybe play a special effect. Oh, I'll put that on screen here. I hate getting buzzsaws to my balls. Well, that brings us to today's sponsor. The sponsor that lets you shave your balls. Whichever that sponsor is. If they're too close together, baby powder might help. You know, that's something that's a part of life. No one told me that was going to happen. When I was young, no one told me that maybe you would need baby powder in the future. So it's a bit rough, but you eventually figure it out. After 2 years of weekly episodes, they abruptly stopped at 170. That was in 2021, but that was a more recent movie that released a few months ago. A show 9 out of 10 didn't complete the story. Movie 7 out of 10 for JoJo's. Did they start Stone Ocean? Or did they change the name? Manscaped. Jinx. That's it. You guys got it. Today's sponsor is Manscaped. All right. What did I call it? Clasher. Oops. Clasherball. What do they call it? Gate key? I'm only half paying attention to what I'm doing now. I'm trying to read the chat here. Clasher gate key. I named it wrong, and I'm going to change it because I don't like that. Okay, great. Clasherball gate key. Oops. Okay, so we're going to have a reference to that, and Clasherball gate key, and we'll say target keys. So I might need to close that and reopen it. Bloody heck, that Manscaped commercial. They did do Stone Ocean, but it was released in like 2 batches, so the hype wasn't there. Aw. What do you mean the hype wasn't there? It sucked having to wait? One reason why it wasn't talked about as much. Name one keymaster and the other gatekeeper. This is... But in Unity probably knows what's up, right? Okay. So, I'm just ignoring that because it is working fine. Okay, and you know what I'm going to do? So for performance implications, there's 2 things you can do. You can just like brainlessly check every second, like you've had too much birthday candy, and you're just like, check every second. You don't necessarily need to do that. What you can do is public void perform total key check. Okay. And that way, then I'll check, if target keys, Nani? Target keys dot, oh, I need to just restart VCS, otherwise it's not gonna let me do that. Okay, is greater than 0, yeah. I'm gonna restart VCS here. Typical Visual Studio. It's my fault because I renamed the file in Unity, and then Visual Studio didn't know what to do about it. So that's my fault. So I'll only run this every time a key is picked up. Every time that's picked up, then it will call that. Yeah. So yeah, I'll do this. But this means that your keys absolutely must reference this guy. So, and I'll just call it the owner. And I'll just perform just a fallback logic in case me as a level designer, in case I fail to reference this. then I'm just going to check if it's null. So if owner is equal to null. But this is such a slow operation, which is why I don't use it by default. So owner is equal to find. This is very slow and is not something that you should use often. Clasherball locked gate. So it's just going to find the first locked gate, and that's to prevent any issues with crashing and any of that. Okay. Great. I spell that wrong. Target keys. It's French. You don't pronounce the T at the end. It's French. I know. Very fancy. It's a very cool language. Don't worry about the T. It's not Target. It's Target, actually. Why would you check every frame when you only need to check when it's relevant? Yeah, like I said, exactly. There's no reason to check every second. Sorry about that. You asked about Black Clover, and I'm a slow typer. Oh right. That looks like the kind of thing I would like, but I haven't watched it. I like any kind of battle shonen sort of thing. If people have magic punching ghosts, I'm all about it. Like not lengths. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna. And this again, I'm doing this for my for loop because I don't trust Unity, and in the past this has caused memory leakage. I don't trust Unity to not leak tons of memory everywhere. Otherwise, you would just go and when I was working in C, making stuff for the play date, you don't do it that way. You put it up there or whatever it is. So. But this is C sharp, which is just glorious. C sharp's so glorious. What type of technical proficiency would you like to achieve in the long term? That's a good question. Well, I want to be better at everything that I can do. I want to be able to work in any sort of a C similar language. I want to be able to work in Lua. Right now, when it comes to C-based stuff, I can work very comfortably. But I want to have a better repertoire, because there are some things that I have to look up still. And I just want a stronger overall repertoire and the differences between the various languages. And I absolutely want to learn more of Lua. I've started, but I don't know enough of it yet. And I'm using Java to do older stuff for the phones, like I showed you, these things. I'm making games for that. So, it's just overall proficiency, better repertoire, learning more languages. I'm still baffled that Jerrel is able to stream without interruption on Australian internet. My internet's decent, actually. It used to be very bad, but I got fiber optic, and that's the only reason why it works all right. I'm on fiber to the premises right now, which is gobbledygook because everyone in America has amazing internet. Everyone in South Korea has just superior internet to the rest of the world. Been having to use Java for my studies, but C# is good. Nice. Yeah, I'm using J2ME, and it's loosey-goosey, and it's kind of this is cool, man. It's sort of letting your hair down, and you don't worry about stuff too much. C# is where I'm at, though. Yeah, rock on. Bing Bing Wahoo. Which is a fun name to say, honestly. It's so fun to say. Yeah, look, I'm just going to say, we can, honestly, you should just, I should say bool, has been triggered. But, again, I don't trust Unity, and doing that in the past resulted in significant memory leaks. Unity's ruined me as a developer. It's actually made me worse overall, I think, in many ways. Is cleared. Okay. Okay. If keys I is equal to null. I'll go like this. Keys obtained. Yeah, copy and paste that. Keys obtained plus is equal. Some languages you can't do plus is equal to 1. You have to type out, you know, the whole thing. Okay, so after all of that, if keys obtained, you know, for some reason, if it's greater than, you know, 1, 2, 3 target keys minus 1, of course, because that's, hold on, no. I'm getting my array logic sort of confused here. Length then is cleared is equal to, this is clumsy. There's probably a better way to do this, but I'll come back to it later. Okay, cool. So we will have, we'll go like this. Public article system. Unlock effect. Cool. Okay. And we'll go like this. Void. Perform unlock. Okay, it's not equal to null. Then unlock effect dot play. All right, and then we'll go like this. Void complete unlock. Complete unlock. Great. Alright, and if is cleared, then we'll go ahead and invoke. Oh, no, that's the wrong spot to put that in. You want to perform the unlock here. Perform unlock. And then we'll invoke the complete the unlock here. I did it like that. Let's say like 2 seconds. 2 seconds will give time to celebrate. 1.5 just so it's more responsive. Complete unlock, and then we'll destroy the game object. No, you can't do that, laddie. Alright. Gobbledygook is fun to say. Gobbledygook is very fun to say. That's the nice thing about a chill stream like this. The host is very likely to see something and reply to it. I just want to hang out. Just want to chat to people. Like I said, I want to feel like I'm at Denny's with you guys at 2 a.m. drinking coffee and getting food poisoning. Using J2ME in these days is a kind of torture. It is. Yeah. Yeah. Are keys supposed to be a reference to all the balls? No, I'll show you. I'll show you in a second, just now. Okay? So I just want to make sure that the base logic is here. And actually, I'll just do this to make sure that the logic cannot trigger twice. If it's already cleared, return. You can't perform the logic twice once it's already detected that it's cleared. So a gate would be something that prevents you from accessing your balls. And I will just create something in Maya really quick. I'll just create a tube very quickly. 2 seconds here if you do not mind. Pipe. Okay, let's see. Access divisions 20. Radius, thickness 0.5. What have we got? Okay, that seems good. Radius 10. And I can scale this as needed. So let's go ahead and go like that. This is good. This is fine. Okay, so I've got a pipe here. I'm just going to bevel my edges to make them kind of nice to look at. General editors. I'll be back in a second, guys. I'm just quickly doing this here. Bevel my edges, and then let me go ahead and assign a different material to the top so I can make it interesting looking. Face. Okay. I'm going to assign a new material. I'll be right back. Cap. Okay. gate. Non-formal history, export all. Okay, and I'm just going to copy my directory for my stage here so I can put it in the same place. And I'll call this Gate A. Please proceed to Gate A. Okay, so if you see me moving a little slower with the cursor as like I sort of approach where I'm going to, it's because there's input lag on my capture card. And I thought it'd be funny, like, if I had a stand, I would probably get screwed over and have like a really crappy stand where my power was to give somebody input lag, and that's all it is. It's like, oh, my stand lets me give you 11 frames of input lag, you know, and that's kind of what this feels like to me. It is kind of hurting my brain a little. Wow, that turned out so small. With my luck, I wouldn't have a good stand. I would have a stand that gives people input lag, but I could go to like a Smash tournament, which they don't do anymore. And actually, then that would be a really good stand power. But I mean, that's cheating. I wouldn't cheat. I would just say, like, that's something you could use it for, you know. Sounds pretty interesting, like some sort of slowdown. Yeah, but I think it's worse than slowdown. I think it's frustrating because you're eventually someone's going to be like, oh, well, my stand lets me move at the speed of sound, so I can counteract your slowdown. But if you gave them input lag, that would just suck. It would suck so bad. Biscuits and gravy, I'm sorry, but I can't. There's a heart over that. Okay, he doesn't need an animator, of course. Let's get rid of that. And what we want to do is just give him a nice little mesh collider. Okay, and I've got like a bunch of, I have some materials already, but actually I want to make like a specific color for the gate, right? So let's change the color on that. I don't have like purple objects yet, so purple would be a good way to sort of identify that. And I'm going to add, you know, I'll see if I want to add textures later, but I really want more of a simple look to the visuals. So let's see here. Okay, this looks good. That looks good. That is the gate. Let me just make sure that the logic works. And the contact point as well. Let's give it a contact point. And doesn't need to be strong. Let's just make it weak. We're going to run it, and we will make sure that it works properly first. I'm corrupting the chat, Jerrel, I'm sorry. Hey, that's cool, man. Do what you gotta do. We're all here to have fun. Don't touch me, bro. Don't touch me, bro. Okay. There's a kind of, like, I know that this game is going to be kind of chaotic because it's physics based. Any kind of physics based, there's going to be some chaos to it. But I just want beautiful chaos, you know? Something like Puzzle Bobble is so highly structured. It's pixel perfect, highly structured. And I like that. I like that, but I don't want to see the world burn. I want to go where the wind takes me, man. And that's what I want. I want freedom. I want this game to feel like beautiful chaos. Okay, that works. Now, what I'm going to do is put them inside of something here. Create empty. I'm going to put them in there like that. I'm going to reset my scale. Okay. Right, this will be a gate. I'll call this gate. Gate A. Let's go ahead and give them the script for the gate. Okay. Clasherball locked gate. This is a locked gate. I'll add a particle system later. I'll make something, you know, to where it's something. All right, now we'll just build a prefab here like this, yeah? Prefab. And we want keys. I should model some keys really quick, but I'll model it later. I think that's going to be kind of boring. What I will do is I'll make it needs to be identifiably different, doesn't it? So what I will do is I'll make it, I don't want the keys to like, it would be a fun situation if in some stages the keys moved around, and it would be, but in general I want the keys to be stable. So what I will do, I'm just gonna grab this here, so just for scale. This is just for scale. Okay, you know what? I'll just call this the gate key. Gate key. And we actually we'll keep we're gonna remove that because it's no longer a ball, right? And this is a gate key. All right. So let's go ahead and let's remove that. Just put a cube in there. I'll make graphics. I'll make something in Maya later. I don't want to bore you guys. It's off screen and whatnot. But let's make it like a let's give it like a nice 45. You know, as Grandpa used to say. You know, give it a nice 45. Did I even need that 45? Yeah, I'll give it that 45. Yeah, give it a nice 45, as he used to say. Where's my material? So we just need a way for these things to interact now, and we want it so that if we hit the key with our balls, it will pick up the key, you know. But what it will actually do is destroy the key, and then it will perform the check. So this, I want it to be transparent, but not this transparent. And I'll create a graphic for this. I'm using this as a placeholder right now, but I will create a more a two-purpose one later on. I just want to see the logic working, and that's what's important right now. There we go. Slightly transparent purple cube. And we'll put like something inside of it, you know? Let's go ahead and remove that, you know? Just for now. You know, this is for now. Yeah, yellow. Okay, so this is a gate key, and we just want a way so that balls can interact with it. So it shouldn't be on the ball layer. Now that I see that, let's see. What would be smart for performance is if we created something like a key. But see, here's what I need to consider right now. The amount of work that I'll put in versus the need to do it and the benefit for it. And I am just going to consider I'm going to consider the most efficient way to do it and the cheapest way to do it. And I think it's going to go a little something like this. This doesn't necessarily need to be a rigid body. And what I will do is make a sphere collider as a trigger. This is dumb. I'm doing it a dumb way. Don't be like me. Don't be like me. This is a stupid way to do it. And I'm only doing it because I'm trying to make this game very fast. This is dumb. Don't do it this way. I'm just doing it like this. This is so dumb. This is the bad way to do it. Please don't be like me. Okay. It's functional, but see, I know what the exact scale of this game needs to be, so I don't need to worry about scalability. What I'm doing right now has terrible scalability. This is a terrible way to do it, but I know that this game doesn't need scalability. This game is exactly what it is, and it isn't going to be anything more than that. So I will go ahead and just make a couple of these. I'll put 2 of these in here like this, right? I'm not even paying attention to where I'm putting it. I just want to check the logic now, so that if I pick up the keys, the gate itself will be destroyed. So I'll go ahead and just lock that down, and I'm going to select all my keys, and I'm going to drop them in there. And let's see if the logic works right off the bat. 2 and 3. Tuck the keys in there. All right, and now we need the logic where our balls touch our keys, and we're good. Keys are fun to model, not too hard like a character, but a lot of room for creativity. Yeah, I'm just going to do like a simple skeleton key that goes in the middle there. Just something simple, you know, because you don't really get super close to the graphics. The script makes much more sense now that I'm seeing the keys. Yeah, see? Exactly. You get it now. Okay. Alright, so let's check our balls, and we're just going to have our balls check, and they're going to check the tag, and that's all it is. What a dumb way to do it. Oh, man. Okay. I should have on trigger enter here. What? Nani? Oh, you know what? Okay. You know, I'll do it with collision. Yeah, I'll do it with collision. Okay, we'll make it a this is so dumb. This is the worst possible way. Okay, so what we want to do, I use a shortcut here. This is like one of my tricks to program quickly. And if you have a script where it's like tons and tons of code, this really helps as well. I call the asdiff shortcut, where I just type asdiff in there. And then that puts that bright orange spot there, so I can come back to it later, but also I can also just control F and find the asdiff. It's like a bookmarker, so that I can come back to it later on. In a small script like this, it doesn't matter, but in larger scripts, it really does matter. So key, I want a Clasherball gate key, a key in focus. Okay, cool. We have key in focus, and I can find my spot quickly. Just look at there where there's that sort of tag. And the reason why I don't do like I'll just say like I'll do the gate key here, you know, gate key or whatever. The reason why I don't do that is in Unity that causes memory leaks. It shouldn't. It's not supposed to, but it does. Okay, key in focus is equal to collision dot game object dot get component. I think that's how the Spice Girls song went. Hey, this may be dumb, but it sure still is progress. Wait, you said the asdiff trick too? I do that with writing sometimes. Nice one! Yeah, great minds think alike. There we go. Can I just type that in? There we go, gate key. Because sometimes you just need it quickly. That was something that typesetters used to use when they did the linotype machine, was the Etio and Sherdlu, as if they made a typo. You know, they couldn't do a backspace. And they had to fill out the rest of the line, so they would quickly run their hand down the side of the machine, and it would spell out Etoin, and then the next column would be Sherdlu. And that also let proofreaders, if they saw the phrase Etu and Sherdlu, it let them know that that line has a typo and just skip it. Yeah. Okay, and then we'll just check if this isn't null, and if focus is not equal to null. What was it? What was it? Gate key. Okay, public void perform pickup. So, oops. What I will do later on, I'll come back and add logic. I have an effects pool. It's a pool manager that manages my special effects. I'll add logic later on, so it'll play a sound effect and a particle effect. But for now, we just want to make sure. So I'll do the special stuff later on. Okay. Perform total key check. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to owner I'm going to invoke this. I'm going to call that, and that ensures that this object gets destroyed. So it's going to wait, you know, a tenth of a second, and then, yeah. And then, you know, I'm also just going to leave myself a note here. Please add special effects and sound. Okay? So we want to now have the ball call the perform pickup. Key in focus dot perform pickup. And then after that, we'll just go ahead and let go. You know, you gotta let go sometimes. Okay, this logic should work, probably, maybe. But then, I think that actually has to have an actual collider and not a trigger. So I will... Oh, you know what? If this is kinematic, that's not going to trigger. I'm thinking about what's going to take the least amount of work right now. And I'm thinking about the least amount of work. Oh man. But see, I want them to potentially be able to move around as well. Because that would make for very interesting and fun levels if I can move the keys around. Okay, we're going to run it and see what happens. What I want to happen is if I touch the keys with my balls, I want the key to disappear. And if all the keys disappear, then I want the gate to disappear. Okay, so it hit that, but it didn't trigger. Why didn't it trigger? Key, there. I think it touched the box collider, so what I'm going to do is disable the box collider. I'm thinking that's maybe what happened. And it fell. I need to turn off the trigger. That's what went wrong. Okay, I better get back to the chat here. Didn't know that was a thing, huh? There's someone on YouTube that covered it in full. It's such an interesting and funny situation, the whole linotype thing. So my logic did not trigger here. So let me figure out what I did wrong. Yeah, that's, you know what? I'm gonna do this first. Because I did it a stupid way. You shouldn't have done it this way. Yo, man. Let me just quickly make sure if it is checking the tag there. It should come up in the console here. So Yo Man is happening. Okay. Okay, Yo Man. I'm getting a Yo Man. Key in focus is equal to collision.gameObject. Clasherball gate key. Okay. Clasherball gate key is there. Yeah. And it is telling it to perform the pickup. So I'm going to move my Yo Man into here. Oops. Embarrassing myself. Debug lines and commenting at least saves lives. It absolutely does. Just, it lets you figure out what's going wrong so quickly. And so, if the owner... Oh! I'm such a dingus. That's what was wrong. That. I'm embarrassing myself in front of all my internet friends. Embarrassing. I should have... The thing is, when I copy and pasted that earlier, I was just talking to the chat. And that's... It's tough trying to balance, you know, productivity with going on chat and talking. Okay, here's what's wrong. See? There's one key left. So let me see what happened to the gate. So my logic is a little... I just want to make sure that the gate does reference all of those. Yep. Check my gate because I had one key left. I know what it is. I know what it is. It needs to be greater than. Yeah? Keys obtained. Right? I need a coffee. Guys, I need to go and I need to refill my coffee. 2 of my balls touch immediately. If I touch this last one, what the... I'm getting humiliated. In front of all of my internet friends, I'm being humiliated. Please don't bother me again with this nonsense. Okay, fine. Fine. Now I'll expose that value. Hey, I said expose the value, man. Sure. Keys obtained. Locked a gate. Alright, Unity, come on. Come on. Oops, looking at the wrong script here. Okay, well watch. Let's watch that. Don't feel so bad about the inverted logic. I still get greater than, less than confused when tinkering with Mega Zeus, which for the record is a simple tile-based game creation system like ZZT. Whoa, cool. I'm gonna look that up later. Very cool. Honestly, not sure how people have a dialogue with chat plus whatever they're doing at such a high level. It's so tough. So look, my keys obtained was 6, so I need to just watch what's happening here. Hold on. It's already at 3, even though it should have... Okay, that triggered heaps. So... It's every time it performs the check, it's not resetting the keys obtained. Ridiculous. Ridiculous how I could miss that. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay, it's probably going to work properly now. I might need to get a coffee. Let's see. So those green balls automatically touch up there. Go ahead and grab that key. And the last one, as you can see, my keys obtained is 4. But now I need to change the. I knew I shouldn't have changed that. I knew it was wrong, and I did it anyway. I knew I shouldn't have touched that. Okay, this should do it. I probably need to remove that Yeoman code as well. I think it should be equals. Yeah, it should be at the very minimum equals, but there is like some weird stuff can happen, and I always have it to where it can be greater than, because you could accidentally have like whatever logic can cause it to go greater than, and if your keys go greater than, and if you're asking to be perfectly equal to, then the gate will be permanently stuck. So the greater than is just a sort of a fail-safe, really, in case for some reason the game thinks you've picked up more keys. Oh, okay, it worked. It worked. Everyone, it worked. Oh no! Did you see those buzzsaws? I was getting like Pac-Man Ghost. They were both just coming for me. Okay. Alright, pink! That was a stupid spot to freeze those pink balls. There's a lot going on with this stage. I'm actually going to take some things out. I think this is too much at this point. It's because of the buzzsaws and everything going on. I'm going to take some stuff out. This works, so I'm very happy with that. Well, not very happy. I'm pleased with it. You know, I'd be very happy if I could spend time with my family. That would make me very happy. I'm pleased with this. But I'm not very happy with this, I'm pleased. Cool. So I'll do the next stage. Will be that. Tamale Muncher, I feel that's better to cover all bases. You never know what goes up with games, man. Like, all sorts of weird stuff goes on with games. You don't know what's going on. So, it's just good to play on the safe side. I use greater than or equal to when programming some retro achievements for the reason of spillover. Yeah, because weird stuff can happen. Absolutely. Absolutely weird stuff can happen. Okay. Oh, we got the Manor music from White and Sided Sombra. Let's go Empty Forest. Alright, so what stage did I do last? Here's the thing, like, you don't want stages to be obnoxious. And in a game like this, if you are not absolutely careful, you will very quickly make an obnoxious stage. So I already see that the buzzsaws make it so challenging just to navigate. It's going to be annoying. So I'm going to take out my green balls. Oh, I really like the green balls. I'll take out the blue balls. Okay. There. That's... Okay, so you have the pink stuff flying around, you have the purple stuff. I'm gonna give it a test. I think I might have to take the green balls out as well. I think this might be too annoying. Test. They're like sleeper agents, like the buzzsaws don't even move, so it gives you time to operate in the beginning, right? So you're just like, you're doing like a covert... Oh! That would be a fun one if there was like, well, I do want to have like a landmine or like a bomb, and you have to try to avoid them. So the whole thing you do is like trick shots. The whole thing has to be trick shots with curves, because if you touch the bomb, it'll explode and it'll result in a game over. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna write that down. I don't want to forget that. That sounds like a pretty fun one. How about Notepad? I'll say contact bombs. Contact bombs. Use trick shots to complete. Yeah, I'm gonna write that. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, if you guys could get a Nokia N-Gage game, what kind of game would you like to see? Because I'd love to do like a little RPG or something on there, you know. The Nokia Goatsy, as it were. Actually, a number one is more. Well, the purple balls went berserk again. I think because I was typing, I was shooting balls while I was typing, which, I mean, it happens to me way more frequently than you think. I'm just gonna lock that guy in place. It's kind of like, oh! I went straight into it. Life is so hard. Oh man. This is going to be a tough level, and I think I am... I'm going to give it another quick test, but I think I'm going to take the green ones out. Because it's already hard enough. It's hard enough with the buzzsaws. I'm taking the green ones out. It's all a fine balancing act, you know? Green, green. Green, green. This is fine. This is fine. Okay, so with my next stage, I want to use the gate and the key system that I just came up with. We'll just make sure it all works. And as Grandpa always said, always start with fresh balls. That middle nub doesn't even need to be there. When it comes to tea, I am an Earl Grey drinker. I do enjoy my Earl Grey. But usually when I'm working in the morning, especially on stream, when you sort of... you need your brain to block out the fact that you haven't had much sleep in the past year. I find that coffee tends to work better for me, so I can maintain some energy level on stream and not be very tired. Or not be noticeably exhausted. Okay, where did I put my, where are my dudes? Where did I put my gates? Did I put them in here? Okay. So far I have like a lot of one-time use gimmicks, but I do want to get back into using them more. Okay, so we have our standard gate, and this will be the introductory gate. I'll do 2 gates in a row. We could have multiple colored gates, you know? I could change the color of that gate and it can have its own colored keys. I could have a second gate with different colored keys. You know what would be cool is to combine these gimmicks. So you know how I said there could be like a bomb, right? And if your ball touches the bomb, it explodes and it's a game over. But what if, you know, there was one where you had to get the keys but avoid the bombs? I think that would be fun. Okay. Let's get some keys in there as well. Okay, so this will just teach the player. Hello? Hello? Oh, I wasn't supposed to reset the scale. It's supposed to be 8. Okay. Computer tea. Earl Grey hot. Yeah. Is that a reference to... Is that a reference to something? Let's make it on the... For N-Gauge, you're going to use C++ or J2ME, huge difference. I did a few N-Gauge jams in J2ME. Awesome. I remember doing some native C and Brew stuff too for various machines. I'm going to experiment with a couple different things. There's a fellow that made an N-Gauge SDK. I'm going to look into that and see what it's like. Otherwise, I will use... I'll find a way to do J2ME. I don't know how to format a J2ME for the N-Gauge yet, because I haven't really done much. I did a couple tests and I couldn't deploy a functional jar file. Whereas I could make jar files that run on these guys just fine, but I couldn't get it to run on the N-Gauge. And if I could figure it out, then I would rather do that, because I'm already kind of experienced a little bit with that stuff. Okay, white, no, green, white, green. Oh, you know, it'd be cool is to like, sort of like represent countries' flags with colors, you know, with the patterns that are in here. It'd be pretty fun, right? It's simply a Nokia S60 or MID P2 jar. Okay. Okay, thanks. It's good information. Oh, I gotta make sure these are stage starters as well. I'm going to have to install the first or one of the first programs I used to create music when I was a kid was Cakewalk, and I was writing MIDIs with it. And now that I'm going to be making like games on like Java games and whatnot, I'll have to I'm sure I've got it saved on a hard drive somewhere, but I'll have to reinstall some old versions of Cakewalk so I can write MIDI music like proper. I don't want to do it the modern way. I like doing development like sort of like how method actors go method. I prefer method development. So if I'm developing on like an old platform or something, I want to make, you know, like the assets in as true a way as possible when it's feasible. So I'm going to make my music, I'm going to make MIDI files, I'm going to use an old program because I don't want it to feel like I've made it in a modern environment. What was my value on red there? What is that? I'm just going to copy that. 2 point. I mean, I could just zero that out, make it as an even 2, but it's what it is, you know. What value did I use here? Just copy that. Art of Balance was good. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I bought that. That was on the 3DS and the Wii U, wasn't it? Art of Balance. I want a puzzle game made with art direction of Art of Balance. That was a really good looking game, and of course played good too. Yeah, they really understood what they were going for with their appeal. It was just something soothing and relaxing and interesting. Um, that was so cool. I played a ton of that. Nokia has its own classes and uh, emulator, etc. Nokia SDK. I do have it somewhere, but times are changing. I tried to set up recently. It was difficult. Yeah, when you're setting up an old environment, it can get really frustrating quickly. Totally, I totally hear you. Let's get some yellow in there. If you can run an SDK in a modern environment, especially, there's so many people out there doing brilliant work, creating development environments that work on, you know, modern operating systems. Those people are the real heroes. You know, making game is just, you know, it's just, you're just making a game. But when the people who do like the homebrew, who make the SDKs and whatnot, those people are like the real heroes. And a lot of that comes out of France. Like the guy who made the Sega Saturn SDK, he's out of France. Johannes Fetz, I think is his name. Okay, this will be 12. And again, this one's going to be pretty easy, of course, because the last one was challenging. So we'll balance. Again, we want to make sure that these are referenced. Oops. Okay, we want to make sure we have our owner. And this guy wants to reference the keys. I'm going to lock that down. And this is, we're teaching the player how gates work. So this is like a little bit of a tutorial. Okay, that's number 12. Let's go ahead and test it now. It should work, probably. It'll probably work fine. Okay, let's do it. Lounge Puzzle was never a game I thought would exist, but here we are. Let me look that up. What is Lounge Puzzle? Lounge Puzzle. I'm getting like all kinds of different, I'm getting like Resident Evil results. There's someone who made something called the Sega Genesis Development Kit. I have that downloaded. Someone made a Mega Man game with it. Oh! They made a Mega Man game with it. I do have that, but I haven't used it. I set it up. Game dev tool preservation is as important as the games themselves. Yeah, I agree. Long term, I want to make just heaps of games for old consoles. You know, I want to balance out my commercial titles that I earn money with, and I want to also make titles for legacy consoles. I was hoping I'd be able to start doing that with Breath of Thunder, but I didn't run the campaign very well. Let's see here. And this should be the last key here. Okay, so that... Like, there's going to be a particle system, right? Here's what I'm kind of thinking. It's just so sudden. You know, it's all so sudden. I'm just going to give it a little bit of flair. Just a little bit of flair. Okay. Vector 3. New position. New position is equal to transform dot position new position dot y minus is equal to 3f multiplied by time dot delta time. I'm just going to save myself like a little bit of typing here and do that. I mean, that's probably fine, right? I think that's too fast. Hold on, 3's going to be too fast. Let's try 2. Let's see. Shared your Mighty Number 9 video with Bringa Studios Discord. They loved it. Oh, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing it. Yeah, it's really just about doing something fun, you know. Um, oh, that one ball got two of them. Okay. There we go. There we go, gang. That was nicer, wasn't it? What do you guys think of that? How it sort of shrinks into the ground. Okay. Ah! I should have done a better job trying to preserve my life, honestly. Okay. See, here's the thing. I kind of want that red one to sort of get closer, right? So it could get hit by the ricochets and also be activated. My plan almost worked, honestly. I'll curve shot it. Watch. Okay, I need the green guy to get out of the way, though, honestly. If you could just move. Curve shot. Grr, dude! Dude! The green ball just... I was trying to show off my cool curve shot. Green ball came out of nowhere. Ah! I went straight into it. Of course I went straight into it. Yeah, this'll work. This'll work fine. Ah! You know what this would have been like? This something like this. You know how when we got the original iPod Touch, right? And it had the wheel. Well, not the iPod Touch, the iPod, and it had the wheel on it. This is the kind of game that you would have seen on that, wouldn't it? Because you use the wheel to sort of control that, and then you push the button and you click to. Jerrel, if you love Mega Man, find and play Mega Man: The Sequel Wars. It's a real Sega Genesis homebrew game. I like the reference to Wily Wars. Look, I like the Wily Wars. I loved seeing those first games remade in 16-bit. So I know people like, oh, they didn't like it because it wasn't accurate or this and that. But it's like, it's cool, man. It's cool. Okay, Mega Man, Mega Man, The Sequel Wars. That sounds good to me. Sick. So sick. Rad. I'm gonna try that later. Reflexes. I didn't pay attention. I didn't pay attention. This is chaos. This is utter chaos. My life is chaos. Curve shot. Yeah, you guys like that? From way downtown! Oh! That was a pretty sick curve shot. Yeah, that was from way downtown. Alright, yeah, that stage works. Cool. You actually made Wily Wars better by removing the shot delay and enemy iframes. Nice, so you made like a hack for that, huh? That's awesome. Okay, you know what? I'll do another gate level as well. This time, we'll have the keys. There'll be spheres on the outside now, and there'll be other things to interact with. And then for 14, I'll do the bomb. I'll do the bomb gimmick. Okay. So here for this one, I think I'm just going to start with fresh balls, as Grandpa used to say. So what I will do with the gate is we'll start out like this. We'll start out smaller. Okay. Okay. And with the keys this time, let's make it so it's 3 keys. Keep those balls fresh and always Pair them. Alright, so we'll have like a triforce of keys. We'll do the top key. We'll have a triforce of keys. Something like that, okay? And then we'll, oh, you know what? Let's make it kind of like Zelda themed, and we'll get green and yellow in there. How about that? This one's going to be Triforce themed. I think this will be fun because now there's like there's a danger element involved. We're going to do this here. This is so fast and loose. I am playing this so fast and loose. I need to make sure these are not touching the key, so I need to move the key a little bit. Okay, something like that. And a little something like that. A little something like that. And it's like, I don't feel like moving that one. I'm just going to go like that. Okay, I'll move the key a little. Let's see. Oh, they aren't touching yet. Okay, good. I'll just do 4, 7, 8, so it's even. There we go. Next one. We'll do 4, 7, 8 as well. 4.78 and negative. Oops. 7, 8. I didn't realize what time it was. I think I need to get something to eat pretty soon here, actually, guys. I'm just eyeballing it, you know, honestly. Okay. I should have got Manscaped to sponsor this video this time. Alright, what's my value here? 672. I'll just copy and paste that one. Okay, cool. And now I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna like cheap out a little bit. I'm gonna do this. Oh, it's so lazy. This is so lazy and wonky. Okay, cool. So now there's inherent danger to picking up the keys because these yellow things will sort of be dangerous here. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Oh, and I should start including bumpers as well. I have a bunch of bumpers, and I should have been using like bumpers as well. Let me think. How can I can. So I'm looking at how people can approach the ball, so you can get a bank shot as well. I think would be a cool way to do it. You could do bank shots to get the keys from behind. Where's my bumpers? I'm gonna check a couple bumpers in there just to make it interesting. Yeah, there we go. Something like that. Something like that. And what angle? 360, 30, 90, 9, 4, 40, 30, 360 divided by 360, 120. Is this the first world? You don't have to throw all the gimmicks into the first world alone. Leave some surprises for later. Well, this is the first world, but all the other worlds will have their own gimmicks as well. You know. Plus, I like to ramp things up because this is only doing one gimmick at a time. You know. But you know the other worlds will ramp things up a little bit. 240. You guys saw my math face just then, where I was really processing math. It's like 1:30, which is, as long as it's not before like 3 p.m., I can still do math. But after 3 p.m., I can't really do math anymore. Because at 3 p.m., I'm already like, I'm out of school. I need to get home because Dragon Ball Z is coming on pretty soon. And my brain's checked out. So I'm not doing math after, yeah, after like 3 p.m., 2:30 even. You know, I'm not doing math anymore. Oh, you know what? I need to get some other balls in there. I need some other colors. When do you do homework? When do I do homework? I do all my homework during class very quickly. Because when I get home, I want to play Final Fantasy. So, I don't even take homework home. I do it all at school. And that's how the pros do it, man. If you want to play Final Fantasy VII when you get home, you got to do all your homework at school. I'll do my homework during the lunch break. During recess and lunch break, I'd be working on homework. Because as soon as I get home, what am I supposed to miss out on? Sailor Moon, Gundam Wing, Outlaw Star, Dragon Ball Z, Scooby-Doo. I'm not going to miss out on those, you know. I'll do my homework during Scooby-Doo's pretty chill. I'll do homework during Scooby-Doo. I'll get it all done, but it's got to be done before Dragon Ball Z. What I need to do now, I need to step away from this. What I need to do is have lunch, and I need to stop, and then I need to think about the gimmicks that I want. In terms of, like, I have mechanical gimmicks, but now I need to think of my ball gimmicks as well. So I need to step away from this, catch my breath, have lunch, and I just need to write down all of the ball gimmicks, and then whatever I come up with, that's it. Put a peg in it. That's going to be what I think of. Oh, I don't want the red ones. I want the green ones because I wanted it to look like Zelda, you know, sort of theme, like a Triforce themed, you know. But I already put the blue ones in there, so it's kind of ruined it a little bit, didn't I? You know, it would be a neat idea: a level where you are being chased by an entity that moves around the circumference, and you have to move in one direction. That would be fun. That's a good idea. I'll see what I can come up with. You know, something like a nemesis or a ghost. Anyway, I didn't do a good job making this Zelda themed. I did a pretty bad job. This doesn't look like a Triforce at all. This is like the Triforce you have at home. Alright, let's give it a test run. Then we can hang out and chat a little bit more, and then I'll get ready to have something to eat here. Okay. Sick. Sick. Okay. Alright, so logically, now let's maximize on play. Let's make this properly. Hey, you gotta start somewhere. There we go. Oh, this is the first time I'm full screen today. I wonder if I can, like, bounce that in. I did a bad job. Did such a bad job. Oh! That shouldn't have happened. I need to check something here. I may not have specified everything as a starter object. That should not have happened. And I think they aren't touching. I think they're too far from each other. Done bad. They are starters. Everything should be starters. Those I forgot to specify are not starters. But I think some of them are not touching. Yeah. Alright everyone, let's jank it up a little bit. Again, if I had more time to work on this, I would have designed the whole thing better. It wouldn't have to have this kind of unreliability and looseness, or loosey-goosiness, as we say in the industry. That's a technical term, you know. So this is in terms of development. You know, this is more rough than I usually do, but I just need to get this game done fast, man. Oh yeah, these are too far. These guys. I'll be when I'm not on the stream. I'll be able to develop this faster, of course, because I'll be like making. I'll be able to have complete focus on the task here. This will probably work fine now. See, what is the rush with the game anyway? Curious. So I'm a full-time game developer, but I basically live paycheck to paycheck. And if I'm not launching new games, I'm not earning money. And I need money to pay my bills. I have a mortgage. I have to pay for food. I have to pay for electricity. Normal everything bills. So I need to constantly launch more games to earn money. And that's life, man, you know. It's tough. Being just a developer is kind of rough if you're doing it the way I did, where you just sort of quit your day job and you're making games full time and you're paying for absolutely everything through just making games. That's rough, working for yourself like that. Sick. Alright, totally works. So there are games that I spend like months on, like more than a year on, and if you launch and you get like one scathing review in the beginning and people just say like brutal things about it, that means that I've worked like a year and I'm basically not going to earn any money because someone didn't really get my game, they didn't connect with it. And instead of people saying this game isn't for me, I didn't really like it, people say this is the worst game I've ever played and you shouldn't even look at it. Unfortunately, that's the reality of the situation. It's brutal. You can spend an entire year working your ass off, making the best game you possibly can, and people just say that it's the worst game ever because they don't click with it, they don't connect with it, and you've just wasted a year of your life, and you're not going to make any money out of it, basically. So that's just the reality of the situation, which means you have to find some way to balance it out. And in my case, I make a number of smaller games that I can launch pretty frequently. I did good. I done real good. Okay, and then in this situation, I just need to program the logic to where it increments the current stage, where it's like, okay, now we'll go to the next stage. You know, this was stage 13, go to 14 or whatever it is, and then reset the room so it can create the next stage, and something like that. Yeah. You know what'd be fun is if the rotating gimmick, but having the bumpers around the edges, and then they rotate and spin. So yeah, you can come up with as many ideas as you want for this. You can just keep going and going, and I think it'll be really fun. So yeah, anyway, we'll probably wrap up the stream pretty soon, and I'll have something to eat. So yeah, I just want to thank everyone for hanging out. It's been a lot of fun hanging out, chatting with you guys. It's been so much fun. This has been a great hangout session today. Yeah, we'll chat a little bit more. We'll hang out, and then I'll have lunch in a couple of minutes. So, yeah, does anyone have any final questions, comments? What's for lunch? I have no idea. I do not know. Sometimes whatever we're talking about on the stream, like last time we were talking about pizza, and then I went and had pizza for dinner. You know, so. Usually, if we're talking about something on stream, maybe I'll use that for inspiration and have whatever we were talking about. Oops, oopsie poopsie. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? Wouldn't mind popping by again. Hey, Tamale Muncher, it's been great hanging out and chatting. It's been real fun. This is the one where it's like, if you're not careful, you're going to take damage. Oh, that was close. Some say the chat is still discussing pizza to this day. There are rumors, you know. They're just rumors. Here's the thing, like something I've learned is I more and more I'm discovering
I've been programmed as a sleeper agent, and I don't think there's anything I can do about it. I don't think there's any way to deprogram me. Because if someone even mentions the word pizza, if they mention anything about a turtle, anything about ninjas, or anything about pizza, it's like, I need to go and get pizza right now. Because like the activation word, has been mentioned, and it's now in my brain, and I need to get pizza. It's how I was programmed. It's like that with Pokemon as well. Like, I don't think I can deprogram myself. There's nothing I can do. I'm like a Pokemon sleeper agent. And if they say it's time to buy another video game, I'm like, yes. Yes, Commander, where do I go? What game do I buy? What do you want me to buy? Please come back. I should have curved that shot. I was so close. Stopped by from studying psychology. I wanted to say you are inspirational and keep working hard. Oh, I really appreciate that. It's really nice to say. Don't let the negativity kill your dreams and aspirations. Armando Brignoni, am I saying that right? I really appreciate that. That's really kind. Yeah, look, if anything is going to kill my dreams and aspirations, it's going to be some late night existential crisis. It's certainly not going to be what anybody else says, Yes! I got all the red ones. If you curve them, you can kind of see where they're going to ricochet a little bit. Wait, is momentum from the cannon actually programmed in? It didn't seem like it. Yeah. If you're moving, you can curve your shot. So, like, say for example, if I shoot straight forward like that, it goes. But if you hold a button, hold a direction, you can angle it, so you can get different trick shots like that. And I'm gonna fine tune it more and more, Yeah, you said it right, and keep going. I'll do my best. Absolutely. It's been great, everyone. It's been so much fun hanging out. It's been a couple hours, so you didn't notice that before. Good on you. I need to gauge what sort of difficulty and challenge I want on this, because I don't know if I want to let people hold a button so that they can angle it and not move. I like the challenge of having to move to shoot. But if people find that frustrating, I might just have a button to where they can angle it sideways a little. And I might impart like a little spin on the ball as well. So it's like pool, where a ball can pull itself, in a direction if you put some spin on it. So, yeah, all right. I'm gonna grab something to eat. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. We'll just close out here with yeah, like a curveball. So I'll see. I'm gonna try that after lunch. I'll see how much of an effect. But the field is supposed to have minimum friction, so I'm not sure if that would even have much of an effect. It's all set to have minimum friction because I want my balls to keep sliding around smoothly. I don't like a lot of friction on my balls, and it's basically how I like it. So I think putting a spin on it may not even make a difference. It's been awesome, everyone. It's been really fun hanging out. Okay, everyone. It's 2 a.m. Let's go to Denny's and get food poisoning.